Back on track after a week off.
I got to take another week off in a couple of weeks because I got to have surgery. So
Oh no. All
yeah.
right. Well, we'll try to get it and try to get everything in we can between now and then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be very very what you call it.
Coherent.
Well, probably that and like you know I don't know if anybody want to hear me talk like
Right. Yeah.
because I'm gonna have shit packed up my fucking nose. So,
Yeah.
uh,
That'll be good though, man. I'm glad you're finally getting that done.
yeah, it's long overdue for
Yeah.
sure. So
But having said that, we are back after our hiatus last week. We took last Friday off. We are back. The Ides of March. Welcome everybody to the Metalheads Unite podcast. Cornbread Metalhead, Chris Duranjo here, back with you. Happy to see you guys.
yeah,
Welcome back.
uh,
We
after my
missed
trip,
you.
after my trip to Myrtle Beach, which was pretty interesting. So
I saw the pictures. It looked like you guys had a good time.
yeah, I mean, I'm a history buff, so I usually hit something history when I'm in these towns just to
Yeah.
get a little bit of to learn something more than anything. Is like
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I always like to learn something.
Me too.
So,
I love music. I
especially
love
when you go into something you're not familiar with, an area you're not familiar with. So.
right. Right. Yeah, I love going to museums.
It was pretty
And
cool.
and it sounds like Susie's pissed that she lost at mini golf.
Yeah. I mean, I thought she won the second game because like there were where we went, they had two different courses and you could play them both for like $3 extra more than the first just
Oh,
buying the
sweet.
one. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, shit, I'll just play them both. Hell.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Uh,
36
so
holes, yeah.
yeah, for like I don't know, it was like it wasn't even $30 for both of us.
Oh,
So
see, there you go.
yeah,
No,
so
Dana, no toe. No
no
toe,
toe,
Dana.
no toe.
No.
So,
Dana was sending us
we
messages in Facebook earlier talking about how he broke his toe and he asked us if we wanted to see it. I was like, no, no
yeah,
toe.
we done told you once.
No toe.
uh,
Oh my goodness, I'm sleepy.
my headphones fucked up.
But still ready to get back into this. So I was more than ready to get back into this. It's always nice to take a week off every now and then. You got vacations and stuff like that, but you know, we take a week off, everyone gets a chance to reset, refresh and everything, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. I will tell you this: the pollen count in Myrtle Beach is like 10 times what it is in the whole state of Tennessee. I think so.
Oh.
So I I was there 5 days and washed my car twice. So
Ew.
I come out 2 nights. I come out like 2 days and it's like green. I said, "What the fuck is out of my car?" I was like, "Palm trees have like." I mean, I don't know if like the ocean air just blows that shit around or something because there wasn't nothing but palm trees where I was staying. So
Mm,
I don't know where the pollen came from, but it definitely travels obviously. So
yeah. Yeah, you can't get away from that shit. It's about I'm sure it's about to get bad here
oh yeah,
sooner than everyone would like. I count my blessings when it comes to that because I don't have any allergies, but man, I don't envy you guys that do. I know it's rough. So
I'm hoping mine kind of clear up when I do this surgery too. So a little
oh
bit anyway. A little,
yeah. Well, every little bit will help. So that'll be good. Damn, Jason just freeze. We haven't had that happen in a while. Dana, thank you for the compliment on my shirt. Appreciate it. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Wonder what happened with Jason. I wonder if he knows that he froze. I bet he does at this point. So, well, he has the birthdays. So, not exactly sure what we should do here. I'm going to send him a message to make sure that he knows that he's frozen at this point, and he is frozen. I'm looking at the feed on Twitter, so he is frozen. Oh, there he goes. He dropped out. All right, so he knows. He knows. So, all right. So what we're gonna do? Jason will be back. He's gonna reset. So he's got the birthdays. So while I'm waiting for him to get back, gonna go ahead and hop into the current events real quick. We'll knock this one out of the way real quick because we have to pass along a death. We don't like doing it, but so what we'll do, I'll do that first. We'll knock it out of the way so we can move on and get past all that. So this was at like every outlet that we cover and then some, I'm sure. But I'm gonna pull this from Blabbermouth. Former Pig Destroyer member Blake Harrison has died at the age of 48. An official cause of death has not yet been revealed. Harrison was best known for his work with the aforementioned American Grindcore Masters from 2006 to 2022, in addition to having played and recorded with Tentacles of God, Triac, Zealot RIP, Daybreak, and Hatebeak. He was also a regular contributor to Decibel for the magazine's For Those About to Squawk column. Baltimore Extreme Metalers. Noisem paid tribute to Harrison, writing in a social media post, quote, "It's with heavy hearts we have to say goodbye to our friend Blake Harrison today. He was a fixture in the scene when we were cutting our teeth as a young band in Baltimore. Blake was always great fun to hang and chat with, and if it weren't for the chance encounter meeting him, we wouldn't be where we are as a band. If it wasn't for his enthusiasm and belief in us as a band, we would have never put out our first record on a label or done any of the crazy shit that's followed. Blake and Pig Destroyer took us under their wing and stuck us on sick bills frequently, which gave us a massive push when we needed it. We can't thank Blake enough for being the kind, funny, and generous guy he was over the years, and we will miss him dearly." End quote. Reptilian Records owner Christopher Xavier Donovan also mourned Harrison's death, writing in part, quote, "It is with great sadness that I say goodbye to one of my favorites, Blake Harrison, a true friend and creative comedic genius. Blake was always proud of how many times he appeared on Reptilian releases, having been a member of Daybreak, Triac, and the brains behind Hatebeak before touring many countries in Pig Destroyer. We spent years watching B-movies, discussing the Zodiac Killer, laughing together, and having whole conversations made up of Longmont Potion Castle quotes. We had kept in frequent contact since I moved south, and he even visited a few times. He was an original, a character, a hilarious creative force, and a loyal and trustworthy friend. This is a loss to us all. He will be missed and will live on in the hearts, minds, and record collections of many. Hail Blake the Snake Harrison," end quote. In a 2020 interview with Hazy Eye Music Media, Harrison stated about how he joined Pig Destroyer, quote, "I've known the guys forever. I booked one of their early shows, and after getting to know them, I'd travel with them out of town sometimes. We did a 3-day run with Whitehouse, and Donna Parker, Jessica Ryland joined them doing some noise on stage. Scott decided he wanted to add more of that element to the band, so I raised my hand and offered up my very novice services. It's still a growing and learning process for me," end quote. Regarding how he was staying busy in the early days of the pandemic, Blake said, quote, "I'm fortunate enough to still be working. I'm an engineer for an AV consulting firm, so I've been busy doing that. I've been writing a fair amount of music for my H.P. Lovecraft-inspired project Tentacles of God. I had some collaborations with Crinkles featuring Jay from Crowhurst, Matmos, Sterile Prayer, and I'm remixing some stuff for a project called Trace Amount. I always have to keep busy. Other than that, just trying to keep the house clean and hang on to my sanity. I've been going on a lot of hikes with my girlfriend and the dog," end quote. So a lot of irons in the fire for Blake. Like I said, no cause of death yet, but not even 50 years old. Taken way too early, of course. So our condolences to the friends, family, and bandmates of Blake Harrison. And good evening to Aunt Amy.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
I don't know what happened. Like I had like the shit flashed here, so
Oh, all right. I
I
got
don't
you.
know. So I don't know if somebody's having issues from the storm and they're working on that line or what.
Maybe. But I went ahead and obviously you caught the end of it.
That's
But
what,
I
yeah,
talked about the story, the passing of Blake Harrison from Pig Destroyer. I figured I would go ahead and knock that one
get
out of the way.
get
So
get the bad news out of the way.
exactly.
Mm. All right, I guess I will backtrack a little bit and try to knock these birthdays out then.
Yep.
So we kind of had to get ahead of ourselves. So
Right.
I apologize for that. I mean, not much you can do, but the show must go on, right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what they say. That's what they say, anyway. So, anyway,
Indeed.
birthdays from March 9th to the 15th. March 9th, I had Johnny Kelly, drummer for Typo Negative, Elias Soriano, vocalist for Nonpoint. March 10th, we had Matt Barlow, vocalist for Ashes of Airs and Ice Earth and Pyromaze. John LeCompte, guitarist for Evanescence from 2002 to 2007. They had Ben Burnley, guitar singer songwriter for Breaking Benjamin. March 11th, we had Vinnie Paul, drummer for Pantera, Damage Plan, and Hell Yeah. Of course, he passed away, unfortunately, in 2018, and he still would not be 60 years old if he was still alive today, which blows my fucking mind.
I know.
Um, uh, that just tells he went way too early.
Way too early.
I don't know, what was it, like 54 or something like that? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
This would be his 60th birthday. Yeah, it would. It'd be his 60th
I
birthday
thought, I thought they said.
this week.
50. I thought they said 59.
50, maybe.
I'll look again real quick just to,
Well,
because I was just curious because.
yeah. I mean, he was too young regardless.
Oh yeah, he was too young regardless. Yeah. So.
Something. He had, I can't remember exactly what got him, but it was something with his heart.
Oh yeah, he had.
Enlarged heart or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something. It was something with his heart. I remember that.
And then I don't know why Loudwire hasn't pushed their birthday stuff, man. Like it's like the last one they posted was March of last year. They haven't updated it to this year, so
Oh, that's weird.
yeah. So I don't know if there's any newer bands out there that they cover. Like they didn't. I won't know through them anyway. So.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one I post definitely ain't gonna have any. The other one I post is kind of like Wikipedia, so
Mm,
it's kind of like whoever like gives them the info, they'll post it, but if they're not gonna
right.
go look for, they're not gonna go look for it. so,
Right.
so it's crazy to. Let's see, here he is. Would have been 59 this year.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
actually, you're right because this was says age in 2023. So yes, he would have been 60. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot. Actually, when I read this, and I thought I said 59. Well, it did because this is a year old. So,
Ah, okay.
so that makes sense.
Okay.
So, anyway, uh, back to it. March 11th, we had Rick Rubin, producer for Columbia and Def Jam Records. So he kind of, man, if you're talking about somebody that had his hand in the money jar in the 80s and 90s,
Oh, good lord. Yeah.
man, he added in the rock and the rap side of everything. Like
Yeah.
everything kind of went through Rick Rubin back then. So. We had Anthony Johns, guitarist for Existing in Exile. March 12th, we had Steve Harris, bassist for Iron Maiden. We had Minoru Nahara, vocalist for Loudness. We had Roy Khan, singer for Camelot from 97 to 2011. And then since 2018, the singer for Conception. We also had Herman Lee, guitarist for Dragon Force, which kind of got me because his birthday was this week and they dropped an album this week.
Yes,
So
they did.
I don't know if that's ever happened before. I'm like,
I don't know.
wow. Um, then Claudio Sanchez, vocalist, guitarist, and lyricist for Coheed and Cambria. March 13th, we had Bill Curbishley, music and film producer and band manager for bands like The Who, Judas Priest, Jimmy Page, and Robert Plant. Um, also had David Draymond, vocalist and songwriter for Disturbed. Ed Sloan, vocalist and guitarist for Crossfade. March 14th, we had Psycho Mike Murr, vocalist for Suicidal Tendencies. Um, hopefully, somebody gave him a Pepsi.
I
Since it
hope.
was his birthday. So,
I hope so.
March 15th, which was the day, I guess, because this one got.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Damn it. Man, it's been a minute since we've had issues like this. Hang tight, everybody. All right. Well, I know he's up to today's birthdays, so I don't exactly know how many he's got left. Yeah, Amy, it's weird. I don't understand. I don't know what keeps happening. Used to happen. Shit used to happen to me all the time. But I had Wi-Fi issues. But I haven't had. Thankfully, I haven't had any issues like that since we upgraded our Wi-Fi here at the house last year. So thankfully, got that settled on my end. So I know he's not going to be happy, and I understand because, like I say, I used to deal with that. So I'll go ahead and knock out another news story. This is a quick one over at theprp.com. Fallujah took to social media on March 14th to reveal that Kevin Alexander will be taking on the studio drumming duties for the band's sixth studio album. The technical death metal outfit have already begun tracking that effort with Alexander in place. Alexander had most recently been filling in for Beyond Creation and will also be joining Fallujah on the road this year. Fallujah commented, quote, Kevin Alexander will be taking over drums for Fallujah's upcoming sixth studio album. Kevin, Scott, and Mike have been working in the studio for the last 4 days and will be wrapping up drum tracking this Friday. Kevin has totally exceeded our expectations with this performance. With his performance, he's brought these tracks to life with such an attention to detail and respect for the style, and yet still brings his own character into the playing. Not only did he have some large shoes to fill, but we handed him one of our most technical records yet, and he's absolutely crushing. We cannot wait for you to hear it. You can check out Kevin's playthrough of Radiant Ascension on YouTube and catch him on tour with us later this year, end quote. So, I mean, if he's going to be the touring and studio drummer, you may as well offer the guy the job full time. So I guess we'll kind of see how that turns out. Um, yeah, I mean, give the guy the gig. I mean, unless he's too busy and has other things to do long term. I don't see why not. All right, let's see. I'll read. What am I going to read next? All right, over at loudwire.com. There's an unreleased Tobias Forge solo album that the singer apparently completed sometime in 2008, and someone just paid a lot of money for it, like several $1,000s. Forge formed Ghost in 2006 and has been the masked face of the group ever since. Thus, he's put all of his efforts into the band's discography all this time, or so we thought. Apparently, sometime in the late 2000s, he recorded a solo album titled Passiflora, but it was never released. It's unclear whether Forge wrote Subvision or if he knew he wanted it to be a solo project all along. Regardless, it was in 2006 when the rocker wrote the song Stand By Him that he decided to start a new group, according to Revolver, and that track appeared on Ghost's debut album, Opus Eponymous. As a result, there isn't much information online about Passiflora, but one lucky and seemingly very loyal fan managed to get their hands on a copy recently. A CD version, well, a burned CDR of the album, was sold on Discogs in January of this year for a whopping $5,434, making it one of the most expensive items sold on the platform that month. Though the individuals with tangible copies are the only fans who've been able to listen to Passiflora in its entirety, a few of the songs have been leaked. One is called House of Affection, and the other is In Enigma Schiffer. And since they're available on YouTube, you can listen to them below. And those, the YouTube videos for those are are embedded in the story rather. So if you want to check those out, you can. Just thought it was interesting that somebody paid that much for it. And I mean, if you've got, I'm not a Ghost fan, but if you got people out there that are, and obviously there are, I mean, they've been selling a lot of tickets, they've been, making a lot of music and all that good stuff. They have fans out there. So if you've got fans out there, one guy paid almost $5,500 for your unreleased album. If one person's willing to do it, you might as well try to find some way to get it, released in some form or fashion. I mean, make more than $5,500 on it. So
Now I guess everybody knows why this is a two-man show.
it definitely helps for it to be a two-man show because I was telling everybody after you kind of bounced out again that I was the one that was having issues on a regular on a more frequent basis back before I upgraded the Wi-Fi. Thankfully, it hasn't really happened since then, but it does help when somebody else can kind of take over when one of us has those technical difficulties like that. So
they're definitely working on something over here somewhere, obviously. So.
Yeah.
It blinked again. So either that or the wife's tired of my shit and she took the toaster to the bathtub with her. I don't know.
God damn, Susie, it's just mini golf. Jesus.
I know, right? Like,
calm down. It's just mini golf.
So I was almost done. So I'll try to get through the 15th for the birthdays here, and then we can kind of get back on track, hopefully.
Yep.
March 15th, like I said, we had Dee Snider, singer, songwriter, and actor for Twisted Sister, and of course, he's directed a couple of movies. So if you haven't seen those, check those out. I always like The Strange Land; that was one of my favorites. So then you have Brett Michaels, singer, songwriter, and guitarist for Poison. You had John Tardy, vocalist for Obituary. John Schaefer, guitarist for Iced Earth. Um, Timo Cotapelto,
Timo Kotipelto.
Cotipelto, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Vocalist for Stratovarius and Cotipelto.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hahn, turntablist for Linkin Park. Jordan Hastings, drummer for Alex is on Fire. And Tatiana Shmailuk from vocalist for Ginger. So that was the birthdays that I had. I don't know if I missed anything, but
Not as far as I know. Not that I know. Well, we'll give a shout out to our friend and group member. He's
yeah.
been a friend of yours longer, but I mean, yeah, I've met him a few times and hung out with him. He was a good dude. But happy birthday to our buddy Constantine.
Yep. Constantine Rossetti,
Yep.
the only mixed Italian you'll ever meet. I'm just kidding. He's not. I don't know. I don't know if he's Italian. I always mess with him because he's always posting pictures of cigars and little shots and stuff. And
Yeah, he is.
And he's always got this this mob look about him. So I always mess with him about being in the mob. So
He may or may not be.
it may or may not be. Yeah. So, but yeah, he actually went with us on the Angeles Apertura show. So
Yes, he did.
and Chris was in the back of a Mustang.
I was smushed in the back of a Mustang. Yeah.
I was like, we rented a car to go and because it was like 4-hour drive or something, and I said, oh well, if you want to wait an hour, we can get you in an SUV. I'm like, no man, the show we'll miss half the damn show, but then
Yeah. So yeah, the three of us ended up getting getting a Mustang.
A two-door Mustang.
A two-door Mustang, because that's the only Mustangs. Well, not anymore. They have that electric SUV Mustang, which isn't a Mustang as far as I'm concerned.
Right? Yeah.
So I let Constantine.
That's a Hot Wheels.
Basically, yeah.
A Tyco.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's a Power Wheels. Yeah. So yeah, we drove from here to Knoxville, approximately a 4-hour drive one way, and I let Constantine sit in the front. So I was sitting in the back like this because I couldn't sit with my head up because I'm too damn tall. And
that was the most uncomfortable car I've ever drove.
Oh, it was. It was.
It's not made for a 260-pound guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's not comfortable at all. I mean,
with a 52-inch wingspan, that's the big thing. It's like
yeah, it was snug.
It's a lot of people like when you're younger, you're like, or even like when you're older, even now, you're like, hey man, I got to work out, I got to stay in shape and all that stuff, and then you get into those cars like that, and you're like, why in the fuck did I get so fucking big? Yep. Once you're there, you can't. I mean, I guess you could lose muscle, but it wouldn't be very. It wouldn't be very easy. It wouldn't be very easy. Enough. That's for sure. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
All right. So I'm already 2 stories in. So if you want to go and knock out a couple, you can go right ahead.
Okay. I didn't know how many do you have total?
I have 1, 2.
I think I have 5.
I have 3 more.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and knock out 2 then. All right. This one's short anyway. Over from Metal Hammer. A biopic about Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne is in development, the couple have revealed. The Prince of Darkness and the music manager TV personality discussed the upcoming film on the newest episode of their podcast, The Osbournes, co-hosted by 2 of their children, Jack and Kelly. The prospect of a film about the 2 was first reported on by Variety in 2021. The report revealed that the picture would be produced by Sony Pictures and Polygram Entertainment, with a script written by Lee Hall, which did Rocket Man, about the romance between the former Black Sabbath singer and his manager and wife. Excuse me. Offering an update on the Osbourne podcast, Sharon said via Blabbermouth, movies take forever to make, and I mean forever. Ozzy also stated that he wanted, which I can say that's not true. Ozzy also stated that he wanted to see the film completed within his lifetime. By the time they finish this film, I'll be dead. I want to be allowed to fucking see it. Sharon then revealed who she'd want to portray her on the silver screen, name dropping Oppenheimer and Dune Part 2 star Florence Pugh and the little girl from Game of Thrones. This is likely in a reference to Bella Ramsey, who portrayed Lyanna Mormont in the TV show and later starred as Ellie in The Last of Us. End quote. And I think that was it. We seen something about they was talking about what's his face, Bill Hurd, wasn't it?
Bill
To do,
Hader.
yeah, Bill Hader. That's it. Yeah, yeah. To do Ozzy, and I'm like, yeah,
I don't know.
think, I don't think I agree with that. If they don't
That
pick Michael Starr for that, they're fucking stupid.
they
I
should.
mean,
They
dude
should.
does a fucking dead on
He does. It's
uh,
crazy.
reenactment of Ozzy Osbourne's.
He does. It's
So,
nuts.
yeah. So,
It's pretty uncanny how good it is.
so if you want to know how the movie business works, it does not take forever to make a movie. It takes forever to edit a movie. That's what takes forever. Like that's why we do the shows live, because if you ever see me on here talking about editing for some of the shows, which I have done, the last one took me damn near 2 weeks because it's a process, man. It really is. You got to cut it off just the right time and piece it in, and it's a lot of work. And like with movies, you're darkening stuff, you're lightening stuff, you're doing all like I've been in the editing room on some stuff on some projects, so it's pretty wild to watch them do that. But that's really what, because I mean, you can shoot and with a script, you can do the script part, action scenes, and all that stuff. And I don't know, probably 4 months, 5 months tops. I mean, usually doesn't take too long to do. I mean, if you think about it, look at all the action in John Wick, and they come out with one damn near every year. So I mean, you know,
Well, they were. Yeah, they
well,
were.
yeah, they were, yes.
They definitely
But,
were.
but I mean, that's kind of what that's kind of gives you an idea about how they do things with that. And then also, they always want to pick a perfect time to drop shit. If you don't have a big movie, you don't want to drop it in the middle of summer and go up against some mega power movie that's going to blow you out of the
Hmm.
water, and you're not even half the people's not going to see it.
Right.
So you kind
Yeah,
of
they're.
if you don't think you're one of those, I mean, everybody wants to make a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but there's an expectation with summer movies,
Hmm.
and you'll see that's why Deadpool's probably coming out in the summer. So, um, yeah.
Dana said about the Ozzy biopic. He said, "What about Little Ozzy?" He said it could be a short film.
Oh my god.
uh, I love the idea. Unfortunately, Ozzy's done so much shit in his life. I don't think you could cram everything that Ozzy's done into a short film. But I do
Oh
like
no, it'd have to be a
I
mini
do
series,
I
man. It'd
do
have to
like
be
the
like
idea.
an 8-part mini series or
It
something.
would God, it would have to be. Jesus, you could. I mean, hell, you could literally do a mini series, and every episode of the mini series could just be like 1 decade of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, for crying out loud, I mean,
It's a guy that's done it all for sure.
yeah, done it. He has. So, but it. I mean, I'll see the movie when it's done and it comes
Oh yeah,
out,
yeah.
because obviously, being a fan. But it'll be interesting to see what makes it and what doesn't. Because I mean,
Hmm.
how long the finished product would be. Because I mean, you got Black Sabbath,
Right.
you got his solo career,
Well, I
which
mean, it looked
obviously
like
was a lot
well,
longer.
it looked like this is just going to be a love story about him and her. So it's not really going to follow the career as much
Oh,
as
okay. Well,
as
that'll be
yeah,
okay. Well, that'll be
yeah.
different.
So
Okay,
yeah, it's going to be
okay.
a little bit different. So
Well, that'll definitely make it a little bit more of a tighter story. But I mean, hell, I
yeah.
mean, the Alamo thing will be in there,
Hmm.
and all that
Bite the
shit,
head off
because
the bat.
yeah, that'll be in there. So there's still there, the plane crash and everything that killed Randy Rhodes will be in there. Because when Randy died, Sharon lost one of her friends. So
Right.
there is still there's still a lot of history that will be in that movie if it's just focused on the two of them. So
It'd be kind of interesting to see what like you said, what they kind of go where they the direction they kind of go and what makes it, what
hmm
don't,
yeah,
all that good stuff. So,
but yeah, I'd definitely watch it when it comes out.
oh yeah, and if you hadn't, since we're talking about movies, if you hadn't, the new Crow uh, trailer is out.
Hmm.
Honestly, not too impressed, but
I was gonna say I haven't seen it yet, but I hear that
it's I think that
it doesn't look
well,
promising.
I think the thing that's gotten on the wrong side of the fans is they're still using the Eric and Shelley story, where they think they should just revamp it and that's something totally different. And I
I mean,
think
they
it, I
they
think I
could.
think they're right because I mean, when you get into trying to remake, some of these movies that are kind of like The Crow, and trying to think of some other ones that would probably fall in that category to the cult classics kind of is
Hmm.
what I'm kind
Yeah,
of I guess I'm trying to say. Those kind of movies you almost can't redo. You almost have to just revamp them and do a whole different story. I mean,
yeah,
I know they kind of tried that with City of Angels, but I think they kind of rushed that movie. Um, I
yeah.
guess I think it could have been better than what it was if they hadn't
Mm.
rushed it, but it was like not long, probably 3 or 4 years after Brandon passed away that they tried to
Yeah,
do that. So
and that and it was gonna be difficult
actually, I think it was like
regardless.
I think it was like 10 years or so because the little girl was in the movie as a grown up.
Yeah, it was gonna be difficult regardless of what they did
Yeah.
because of Brandon dying
Mhm.
on set. So that was gonna be a tough one anyway. But uh, I haven't seen the trailer because I kind of make a habit anymore of not watching trailers, even if it's a movie I may not see. I'd rather
I mean,
I
it's not
I,
gonna
I want movies to be a completely. I
right.
don't I don't like how much I don't like how much shit trailers give away anymore. Bottom line,
Well,
but
I mean, it's not going to give anything away that you don't already know. So, I mean,
well,
I'll
no,
tell you
that's
that.
true.
I'll tell you that. So.
Well, that's true, but I did see something. It was either I think it may have been Metal Injection, and there was a headline about it, and it said, well, I can't remember what the headline said, but the caption said, "Man, the soundtrack to the new Crow better not suck." So I thought that was funny.
I think didn't they say Ozzy
Ozzy,
and
the
Post
Ozzy and
Malone?
Post Malone song is in it.
Yeah,
What is it? Take What You Want. I think that's the name of
something.
the
Yeah, I think something like
something
that.
like that. But I remember the soundtrack to the first Crow movie was
Oh
was
yeah,
awesome.
oh yeah,
It was very good.
yeah.
I
Pantera,
st-
some
I still like that.
Holiday.
Yeah, I still like that song by Pantera, The Badge. I still
Oh
like
yeah,
that song to this
yeah.
day.
It's a badass song.
Yeah, it was so good.
All right. Well, let's get into this next one because it's going to cause a discussion too. So,
Oh,
this one,
hell
this one over from Metal Injection. Despite a disastrous 2023, Blue Ridge Rock Festival
yeah.
appears to be
Oh yeah.
moving forward with their 2024 plans. No bands have yet to be announced, but the Blue Ridge Rock Festival website currently has early bird ticket sales listed for a variety of prices. For those that missed the 2023 media frenzy, allow me to recap. The Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2023 was canceled midway through. The September 9th and 10th dates never happened due to what organizers call continued severe weather, though a report surfaced a few days later suggesting that the stagehands working the festival were planning to walk out on the 9th due to poor working conditions. The report alleged that the stagehands presented a list of demands to organizers the evening of the September 8th, saying conditions need to be improved or a strike would happen. Blue Ridge Rock Festival attendees then complained about not getting refunds from organizers, an issue that stretched into January 2024 and beyond. This was all compounded by the fact that Blue Ridge Rock Festival was also under investigation by the Virginia Department of Health after people reported gastrointestinal issues in the days after the festival due to contaminated water.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how Blue Ridge Rock Festival moves forward with 2024 and how the festival organizers assure fans a better outing this year. What I will tell you, it is not going to get better. This is the third year in a row it's been shit, and it's going to always be shit. Unfortunately, and honestly, I think if it does go on, I don't think it happens. I don't think they sell enough tickets to make it happen. That's just
Well,
me. That's just my
well,
personal opinion. But
I think you're right, but I mean, we're in the middle of March, and there hasn't been a single band announced yet.
I mean, it's not till September, so
I
uh,
get that, but
yeah.
how
But I
how
mean,
many?
louder in life is too, and it's already completed.
I
So,
know.
so,
That's what I'm saying.
so
How many of these other festivals have already announced, and not even talking full lineups. I'm not
right,
saying
right,
that
right.
not I'm not saying that every festival has the entire weekend laid out, but
Oh,
at least you
they
have
would
at
have
least you have some idea,
they would have at least had one of the headliners by now. I mean,
right? And if there
that's
are
why.
no bands announced yet, that doesn't that's they're it's not off to a good start.
Well, I say if it's nothing, I mean, the bands aren't going to work for them either. Probably. I mean, there's going to be a lot of bands like, "No, I'm good, man. Take
Hmm.
that shit somewhere else." But
Especially when there are plenty of other festivals to go to.
Oh well, yeah. I think that if we don't hear anything by May that there's an announcement for a band on it, then it's not happening.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just going to tell you,
can't.
there's no way.
No, I don't think so. But see that, but that was the thing that you had even said when this shit happened. Take the year, figure out everything you need to figure out, give the people the refunds, the partial refunds for the 2 days that got canceled, because that's the right. First of all, because that's the right thing to do. Take the entire year, take 24 off. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, take 24 off, regroup, and just come back in 25 and try again.
Well, I mean, they should have did it in 22. They shouldn't even have had one in 23. I mean, from all the transportation issues they had, and they kept saying, oh, they had it worked out, but there was people still talking about it took them, they were waiting in line for an hour and 45 minutes and 2 hours just to get on a bus. I mean, that's fucking
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is an ongoing thing year after year after year, and you haven't figured it out
Mm-hmm.
because you're obviously too stupid to fucking figure it out. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, I mean, you're obviously too dumb to figure it out. If you ain't figured it out in 3 fucking years, it's not happening. I'm sorry to tell you.
Not under current management, apparently.
No, you're gonna have to get somebody that's you know a logistics coordinator. Oh, I'm just saying, I know a few of those,
Right? Yeah.
but yeah, you're gonna have to get someone like that to get something set up for you. You can't, like, I don't know. Maybe they should rename it to get away from the. No, they've already done that once. That's the thing. It's like Blue Ridge is the new name from the time before. I can't remember what he was involved with before, but it went sour too. So like I think they took a year or two off and then come back with Blue Ridge like it was a whole new thing and nobody would catch on that it's the same people running it.
Mm.
As it was like some uh they compared this last one to that what's it, that Burn Fest or something, or
Firefest?
maybe it was Fire Pit.
Firefest?
Yeah, they was comparing that shit to that one. But
Well, that's the thing is like that Firefest. Obviously, that way it wasn't a metal festival,
right.
but that one was basically that thing was basically a hoax.
Oh yeah, yeah.
More or less, it was a hoax, which is which is which is ridiculous because they're actually having another one.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of blows my mind. The first one was an absolute disaster. Like I say, it basically boiled down to being a hoax. Now they're having another one. I don't know how the hell that's going to work, but I don't really care because, like I say, it's
Right.
not for us. But so Bonnaroo used to be called Ichiku. Jesus, I
Yeah.
didn't know
I never
that.
know that. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. I wonder if that was before I moved here. I don't
No,
know.
I can ask my buddy. He lives right there by Bonnaroo, so they give him free tickets because everybody that lives in that area they give free tickets to, so they don't, I guess, get noise complaints on them or something. I don't know, but he always gets to go for free because his family's got land right there too. So,
Well, shit. If I lived that close, I would take the free tickets, and I would probably I
sell
would
them.
well probably. But what I would also do is I would charge people $20 a car probably to park in my
Oh
yard.
yeah, parking my yard. Yeah,
I'd make some money off that shit if I lived close enough.
yeah. The parking there's well, it's not really the parking; it's more of the traffic because there's only one way in and one way out of that place
Right.
from what he was telling me. So
Oh yeah, there is.
it's kind of like they need to. I think that's one thing they need to work on before they do anything. You know, like more than one is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
they did Exit 111 that one year, but
Hmm.
uh,
But yeah, I don't know what the Blue Ridge people are gonna do because I mean, like I say, they haven't figured it out. The current management just they they they're going backwards is what it is. They're going
oh yeah,
backwards. They're if there was forward momentum with any sort of progress, I think people would be inclined to I don't think forgive, but I think they would be willing to still go, but they're moving backwards.
well, I mean, there's news reports you can look up in Virginia, and look at the paper there and look at the news reports. Just go to their paper and put in Blue Ridge, and there's going to be reports on there for years where
Mm-hmm.
they've owed the city money, and then they were using, like last year. That's what they were doing. They were using 2023 ticket sales to pay off their debt from 2022. It's
Mm-hmm.
like obviously you're never going to get ahead that way. It's like see, before Live Nation bought Bonnaroo, it used to be camping, parking, and tickets all one price. Live Nation bought the name, and now everything is in a separate price. Oh hell! I didn't know Live Nation did that about Bonnaroo.
I
So
didn't know they did either.
hmm, interesting. Maybe that's why it's there's no 111 because the people that ran that was the people that owned Bonnaroo before or owned the land. Anyway, so
Well, I could be.
last I heard, they put that shit on their sales. I don't know how true that used to be, but it's
Yeah,
going
I'm
by
not sure.
people live in the area. But anyway, that's we'll see kind of what happens with that. If there's, I mean, if there was if there's any changes or announcements to be made, I guess we'll follow up on it and let you guys know. But
Uh-huh. Well, I mean,
beware, I'll tell
yeah,
you, beware.
yeah. I mean, if they start naming bands and everything, I mean, and it looks like things might be moving in that direction. We'll obviously let you guys know, but I don't know. I'm not.
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not optimistic.
Well, I mean, I think that's what they're doing. They're leaving ticket sales up there. That's why they haven't named a band yet. Because I mean, they're trying to sell tickets to pay off last year's shit, or they're not going to be able to go forward. I mean,
Well, you can't use.
well, the bad thing is, like, even if you're doing that, so you don't get enough, you're not going to get everything done in time. So you're going to have to cancel this year. What do you mean? You're going to refund the tickets that just got sold? So I mean,
That's what I'm saying. You can't use the current year that we're in to take care of last year. That's not how it works. You
yeah.
can't you
Well,
can't do it that way.
if you talk to any of the locals in that area, man, they'll tell you that family's kind of crooked anyway. So,
Well,
so
it would sure as hell seem that way.
yeah, that's like I said, you got me twice, but not, I ain't going down like that for a third time. Well,
Right.
mainly the second time they got me because they changed venues. So I thought, oh
Hmm.
well, they changed venues, and it's obviously better. Plus it said it was at a raceway, and I thought, well, hell, it's a raceway, man. They got their shit together there. Well, the raceway don't have anything to do with it, so they just put the
Well,
land up. So
yeah. I mean, if you can't, and I remember when we were talking about it. You put the map of the property up there, and the way they had it laid out, and we were even looking at it trying we were even looking at it going, well, if you did this and this and this, it'd probably be better. So I mean, I think even looking at it for the short amount of time we did, I think we even probably made probably some improvement, but obviously until you put that into practice, you don't know. But even if you've got because the raceway there at Virginia, it's not like the biggest track
right,
that NASCAR ever used, but still, the infields at these racetracks on race day when NASCAR is there, the infields are like miniature cities. And obviously, the bigger the track, the more room you have in the infield, and the more stuff you can have, like Daytona USA, and especially Talladega, because Talladega is the largest track on the NASCAR circuit. Talladega, the infield at Talladega is literally basically its own town on race weekend.
mm-hmm.
So if you can't take advantage of the amount of land that a NASCAR, I don't even know what the hell the series is called anymore. It used to be when I was a kid, it was the Winston Cup, and then it was the Sprint
Right.
Cup. I don't even know who the hell the sponsor is now. I don't watch
Um,
racing anymore. So anyway,
it's probably
the
Prime or something.
it might be. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. But the top tier of NASCAR racing, if you can't take advantage of the space that the tracks that they use, if you can't take advantage of that space, then you probably shouldn't be putting on an event
Well,
like that because
they
because
they weren't even in the infield. That's the thing. Is like the only time you even seen a track is when you walked down the hill, and you was on those two stages, and you would see a track that kind of went around the one stage. So
and that's a problem.
yeah, so you
That's the
you were
problem.
like you were like way over here, away from the track.
Yeah,
It was
that's
like
a problem.
I guess that was like parking or something. I don't know, but
That's the thing.
It would have been strange parking because there was a big ass, a couple of big ass hills like right there. So
See, that's the thing.
maybe that
The
was camping for the raceway or something. I don't know.
maybe I don't know, but like I say, I haven't looked at the map since last year when everything went down. But NASCAR Cup Series, okay, that's fine.
They just own their own
Um,
shit now. So.
NASCAR Cup, well, that's fine. You might as well. Um, but the event itself should be inside.
Mm-hmm.
Should be inside the racetrack,
Yeah.
not on the track, of course. In the infield, have the stages, have the vendors, have the merch, have it inside. Have everybody park outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do for the races.
Yeah.
The races inside. All of the teams and everything, they park on the infield. Those some of these tracks can literally hold 150,000 people.
I think
If
that was
if
the thing
if
that,
a, if a track is sold out.
I think that's the thing that pissed everybody off is like you shuttled everybody over and then you're not even using all the land. Like you could have
Mm-hmm.
had people park over there on the fucking track. I
Yeah,
mean, you weren't even using that part. Like, I don't know. It's
yeah.
fucking. It was all kind of retarded to me when I was looking at it. Man, this is a clusterfuck. As soon as I walked up and seen how they were doing shit, I was just like, day one, I was like, man, they say this is just a clusterfuck like last year.
Yeah.
So, and then last year they even got fucked up worse because which I wasn't going to get talked to. I don't because they could have given me free tickets last year. And I told them to stick up their ass. I don't want to have nothing to do with you no more. But that's just how I am. I don't. There's no more. I gave you two chances. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
not like I was trying to be an ass. I'm like, oh, just that one day and fuck it. And all right, man, go deal with your.
No toe, Dana.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
toe.
yeah. Go deal with your. Go deal with your. Go deal with your toe.
Ice and elevation, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, take care of yourself, Dana, man. We'll see you.
Anyway, like I said, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
not. I'm not optimistic. So
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, and another funny thing is especially this year with who came out of retirement and is going to be making festival appearances.
yeah,
Good luck,
right.
because people are going to be traveling for those. I guarantee you. They're on 3 festivals.
Yeah,
People are
that's
going
all
to
they're doing.
travel.
That's
People are
all
going
they're
to
doing.
travel.
That's all they're doing, is according to what I heard. So,
And that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't surprise me. They're doing 3 festivals. People are going to travel for those.
yeah.
So you might as well take you may as well take the Blue Ridge may as well take the year off just because of that.
Right.
People are gonna travel to go see Slayer.
Yeah. And you're going to lose money because if you don't have Slayer,
And yeah. Yeah.
and chances of you booking them now, it's
Mm,
not, there is
hell
no chance probably. So,
Hell no. So yeah, I mean you may as well take the year off from the festival circuit just because
because I think
people are going to go see Slayer.
I'm pretty sure Louder in Life is like the week after, a week before Blue Ridge usually is. So, I think it's the week after. I think it's usually the week after Blue Ridge. So.
Mm.
So, and that's where Louder in Life's where Slayer is. So,
Yep.
so and people ain't want to go to 2 festivals like that. So, unless
Mhm.
they're retired, they ain't got nothing better to do. But
Well, that's true. The number is low.
yeah,
The
exactly.
number is low.
So, but anyway, here you go. I think I read my 2, didn't I? Yeah.
All right. What do you got left?
I got 3 more left. So.
Okay, I got 3 more left too. So, all right, well, I'll go ahead then. Get us back in sequence. Moving over to Metal Sucks. When they're not killing it on stage and traveling the world, it's sometimes nice to see all the impressive, good, and wholesome shit our favorite musicians get up to. For example, we all know Cannibal Corpse vocalist George Corpse Grinder Fisher's love of the Crane game and resulting toy donations. Insomnium's Dr. Billy Fryman is a distinguished scientist with a PhD in evolutionary ecology when he's not killing it on stage. And now we know that Mastodon bassist vocalist Troy Sanders is a big old softy whose love of baseball and dedication to his son has made him Positive Coaching Alliance's 2024 Regional Baseball Coach of the Year. Sanders was one of 36 total regional winners who were selected out of a pool of 500 nominated coaches from across the U.S. Representing Indian Rocks Beach, Florida Little League as both a coach and the league president, he said the win wasn't on his radar when he received word that he'd won. Quote, I was not expecting it and knew nothing about it until I received the email letting me know I was selected. Then, once I did a little more research and learned about the nomination process that 10 of my current and former players' parents went through for me, I was very excited and humbled. To have what I feel is the most natural way to coach and lead these young players recognized outside of my own circle, it helped me feel like I am doing at least something right for these kids, and it just felt exciting to be recognized in this way, end quote. It's really funny to read the post about Sanders' selection because they don't mention his affiliation with Mastodon or his rock star lifestyle at all, but we all know the truth. According to Little League, Sanders grew up playing in the system from 5 to 14 years old. After graduating out of the league, he eventually came back after 3 decades when his son signed up at 8 years old. After supporting his son's team for 2 seasons, Sanders began doing wholesome shit like volunteering at the concession stand and becoming an assistant coach for his son's team when needed. Eventually, he said he decided to share his knowledge of the game with more than just his son, opting to become a coach and team manager, eventually joining the local league's board of directors for 4 years. He eventually was selected as league president, which is the position he's had for the last 2 years. Quote, once I started as an assistant coach, it felt like a very natural and authentic progression. My son was very interested in baseball and still is, which has allowed me to be super close to the game and a very active volunteer. There's nothing I love more than coaching Little League, end quote. Nothing, Mr. Sanders, not even metal. In all honesty, I've never heard a bad thing about Sanders, so this all tracks. The dude seems to be just a loving father and someone who wants to give back to the community through the best damn sport in the world. I disagree. Baseball.
What are you gonna say hockey on that? So,
Yep, I am. So,
uh,
but that's cool to see. I mean, like we've always said, these dudes are just human beings, just like the rest of us. They put
yeah,
their pants on one leg at a time, and blah blah blah, all those cliches. But it's cool that it's also cool that he's found the time to do that. Bond with his son and all that good stuff. So I mean, and to help other kids out.
yeah, yep. All right, get your clickers out to count. The count is about to be going on. Uh,
Oh, nice.
uh, as it celebrates 130 years of music history, Gibson, the iconic global instrument
Oh
brand,
yeah, here we go.
is proud to announce that it has entered a new partnership with Jimmy Page, one of the most influential musicians in history and co-founder of one of the biggest bands of all time, Led Zeppelin. Introducing the Jimmy Page 1969 EDS 1275 Double Neck Collector's Edition from Gibson Custom. So many times I have to say this. Made in close collaboration with significant input from Jimmy Page. Only 50 collector's editions, hand signed, and played guitars will be available exclusively via the Gibson Garage Nashville, the Gibson Garage London, and Gibson.com in Europe. With its distinctive silhouette, Jimmy Page's Gibson EDS 1275 Double Neck has become one of the most iconic guitars. I'm already laughing this whole time. Guitars in history. The images of him playing it on stage with Led Zeppelin are incredible. Are
Indelible.
indelible. That's what it says. To rock and roll history, uh, Jimmy de- re- Jimmy defined the model from the moment his EDS 1275 was delivered to him, which allowed him to play the acoustic and electric 6 string and 12 string parts of the song Stairway to Heaven at live performances. And then later using it for the song remains the same, the Rain Song, Celebration Day, Tangerine, and most recently at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last November as a tribute to Link Ray. The EDS 1275 has become synonymous with Page's legendary stage presence and the electrifying moments that define the genre. Handcrafted in close collaboration with Jimmy Page, this special collector's edition guitar uses Gibson's groundbreaking 3D scanning technology and ultra precise Murphy Lab aging techniques to aid in creating a clone that captures the essence of Jimmy Page's original guitar. Every single detail has been thoughtfully recreated, from the exact playing wear to the sonic character of this exceptional guitar. Only 50 collector's edition guitars, all hand signed and played by Jimmy Page, have been created by the expert
Luthier.
luthiers
Luthier.
of the Gibson Custom Shop in Nashville, Tennessee, and artfully aged to match the original finish by the Murphy Lab as part of this extraordinary collector's edition run. The Jimmy Page 1969 EDS 1275 Double Neck Collector's Edition from the Gibson Custom Shop in Nashville represents a unique opportunity to own an exclusive part of music history that symbolizes musical innovation and enduring legacy of one of rock's celebrated artists, Jimmy Page. The Jimmy Page 1969 EDS 1275 double neck collector's edition features a lavish collection of case candy curated by Jimmy Page that features a certificate of authenticity book with a photo taken by Barry Wenzel, a wooden pick display with Herco Flex pick played by Jimmy Page on the specific serialized guitar, a premium cherry black leather strap, and vintage replica strap, uh, Schaller strap locks, an embroidered dragon guitar shroud, and a Gibson double neck stand. Quote, one of the most influential musicians in history, Jimmy Page is an icon across all genres of music, art, and culture, and co-founder of one of the biggest bands of all time, Led Zeppelin, end quote, says Caesar Guakian, Gibson CEO. Being the main music writer in Led Zeppelin, Jimmy leveraged his blues and folk inspirations to orchestrate the pioneering rock sound that became the signature of the band and revolutionized rock across all of its future variations. We are grateful for Jimmy's trust and partnership, and we look forward to paying tribute to him. That was from over at Blabbermouth. If I didn't say that, sorry. But six times, so, yeah.
Six.
So, and that was a short one, so I
Yeah.
mean, I think it was like 12 times in one that you did or something.
Yeah, that was the
It
one
was
for
it was crazy.
that was the one for Gene Simmons' latest
Yeah.
bass. Yeah, that was the story that led us to start doing this shit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
So every time we see one now, one of us grabs it.
Yeah, one of us
And,
counts. Yeah.
and,
Because it's funny to see how many times they
yeah, they reiterate the same
shove
thing
it
over
into
and
a
over.
story. But yeah, so we got 6 on that one. So
Okay.
all right. This one I first heard about this next one like I think it was like last Saturday, but considering that we didn't do
Right.
the show last week, and this one we may end up discussing this one too
Okay.
I'm kind of on the fence either way about this one. So let's see. Over at Metal Sucks, yes, people just got arrested for moshing, and no, it wasn't at a slam show or something that would make sense. It was at a Joyce Manor show. The Southern California-based band are more along the lines of indie and pop punk. They're a strong example of their genre, but still, it's hard to believe that this was the heaviest show happening in Jacksonville, Florida, on any given night. This happened on the first night of their tour with Porch Coffin and Glazed at Collective Con and anime conventions at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Given what happened next, we're assuming the convention center authorities weren't familiar with the benign nature of moshing at a pop punk show. Allegedly, security was trying to calm things down during Joyce Manor's set, and then they got on stage during the song Constant Headache. The show was then shut down, and police dispersed the crowd, even arresting some people. Naturally, videos of this have been surfacing on social media. Far From Home Records, based on Orlando, chimed into the conversation to express that they were not happy with the treatment of fans during the shutdown. Quote, can't believe cops just started taking random fans to the ground at the Joyce Manor show tonight, forcefully shoving them into cop cars just because they got bumped into in the middle of the pit and people weren't clearing out fast enough. And then it says a cab, a cab, a cab a bunch of times. I don't know what that means. Saw it being shut down a mile away because they kept telling the crowd to calm down, but went overboard so fast. Infuriating to see one of the smallest and calmest dudes there being picked on by the cops just because they got lumped in with the crowd. People started stage diving even after the security dude was grabbing them and taking them aside. So like I sort of get it, even though it was fine. But biggest mistake was the cop just patrolling in the middle of the crowd and yelling at fans that were bumped into bumping them. While as far as we can tell from these preliminary reports, no one was seriously injured, folks are not happy with police actions at first show of the tour. Joyce Manor are still on the road and can be seen at the dates as followed. They're down there at the bottom. So I probably should have gotten this story. What the fuck?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, what the hell? Okay. Something popped up in the chat while I had the story pulled up. Okay, that's weird. But anyway, I probably should have gotten that story at a different outlet because there were more details at a couple other outlets. So it actually sounds a little bit more, it actually sounds like a little bit more like the police went overboard just from the word jump. And I know that the way things are in this country nowadays, and with people always whipping out their cell phones just to take videos of everything. I know that I haven't really seen the videos. I'll be completely honest, because it's a band I don't really give a shit about. So I mean, I read the story, and I think that, like I say, I'm on both sides of the fence about this, because, like I say, we've talked about it before, about going to see Testament, Death Angel, and Exodus in Chattanooga, and
Mhm.
there being a sign up front saying moshing is not allowed. It's like, you have to be cognizant you have to be cognizant of the clientele you're bringing in.
Mhm.
Now, granted, pop punk, obviously it's not really like the first genre of music you think of when it comes to mosh pits and shit like that. But you have to be aware of the music you're bringing in and the clientele that's going to be bringing in. You need to make sure you're prepared. You have to make sure you have enough security, and you have to be ready to react to what's going to happen when music starts playing, and people who may or may not have been drinking, I don't know, because
Mhm.
it's a convention center, so I don't know if alcohol would have been allowed at this particular venue. But at the show that we were at, obviously people can get beer, and obviously as the night goes on and more beer is consumed, people have a tendency to get more carried away.
Mhm.
At the same time, when the venue asks for security to get involved, they ask the crowd to settle down, they ask the crowd to behave. When the crowd doesn't behave, then things can potentially start happening. People can get
Mhm.
kicked out. If people are getting kicked out and they don't want to get kicked out, and they start to resist, I'll just say that, whether it's security or whether it's police, people are outnumbered. The security's outnumbered, the police are outnumbered. Not trying to condone any actions either way, but like I say, I see both sides.
Mhm.
But if the venue calls security to come in, and security's not having an easy time getting control, and the security decides to get the police involved, then things can escalate. Sometimes they do,
Mhm.
necessarily or unnecessarily. I'm not here to say that one way or the other. But I don't like when it's so black and white. It's all the concert goers' fault or it's all the police's fault.
Oh yeah.
Because, like I say, when the police are called in, the police are at a numerical disadvantage. So they're trying to, in this case, they're trying to do what the venue asked, that everything be kind of calmed down. It didn't work, so we're just gonna pull the plug. We're gonna shut the whole thing down. And the crowd wasn't dispersing. So the police came in and tried to expedite the process. And whether or not they went too far, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It's not for me to say. It's not for anyone who took a cell phone video to say. Let the higher ups handle it. And if an officer did something they shouldn't have, they should be disciplined. But at the same time, let that be handled. Let that be handled at the police level. People need to be held responsible for their actions. The police do, the concert goers do. If the venue was like, please stop, and you don't stop, then whatever repercussions that befall you are on you.
Mhm.
Because even though you're going to a venue to watch a particular style of music, if you're asked to stop and you don't, then you're being disobedient. And disobedience gets met with repercussions, whether it's
And
just removal of the venue or whatever.
never shut the show down completely. I mean,
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
and it's all your fault for getting shut down, not the bands. I mean, the
Basically, yeah.
bands protected itself, so especially if you're jumping on stage with them and shit. I mean, you can't really be doing that shit. So I mean,
Right. And I have never, the only show that of course I haven't been to a shitload of shows. So the only show that I've been to where the band invited anybody up on stage was that Steel Panther show in Nashville.
Yeah.
Any other show I've gone to, crowd surfers get up to the front, they get to the barricade, the security grabs them and ushers them quickly off to the
Well, I
side.
mean,
You are not allowed to get on stage.
there's a difference in a band inviting you on though,
Right.
and then just trying to
Right.
bum rush the damn stage. I mean,
Right.
I
But
was actually they actually reminded me. I was watching an old video of Marilyn Manson on Phil Donahue. I don't know if you've ever seen that video, but they were talking
I
about
don't think
stuff
I
like
have.
that, and Marilyn Manson was just like, "Yeah, you putting your feet on, on my territory." It's like, this is my territory. This is where I perform, not you. You
Right.
stay out there. He said, if you get on stage with me, we're probably going to be fighting because
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to be here. So,
Yeah. And as we saw with the whole Dave Chappelle thing a little while back,
right.
you don't know what the intention is of somebody getting
Mhm.
up on stage. You have
And
no
Dave fucked
idea.
that guy up.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of him.
uh,
But and they should have. That dude had a
well, right,
knife.
yeah,
That dude had a knife. So they're lucky they didn't.
yeah,
That dude's lucky they didn't kill him.
yeah,
But, in a more relevant example to what we're talking about, the whole thing with Dimebag.
yeah.
The dude that killed Dimebag was a Pantera fan. So you have no idea. You have no
Yeah.
idea. The dude that shot Dimebag and killed him and the other people, he was a Pantera fan. He had mental problems, but he was still a Pantera fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no idea what anyone's intentions are.
And I mean, honestly though, was he? Because I mean, if you were a fan, you would not go out and take that step because
Well,
that kills any chance of it ever reuniting. I mean,
right. Well, like I said, that dude had some issues.
well, yeah,
He had some issues. So
well, getting into the whole building with a gun is ridiculous anyway. So
right. Yeah.
That was the venue's fault, 100%. I mean,
It absolutely was because he was just able to walk through the back door, walk right
yeah,
up on stage. Yeah. Yeah.
should
So
never be able to go through just the back door. It should be only one way in,
no.
and should only be one way into the venue, and that should be through somebody. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't just be able to walk around wherever you want to and get in.
Right.
Think you are Dana Horn or something?
Right.
Uh, he ain't even here to defend himself.
I know.
Oh man, so yeah, that's messed up situation. So,
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, like I say, it doesn't sound like
nobody got hurt.
nobody got hurt, and like I say, in like a melee situation like that where, well, I don't even know if it turned into a melee, but it may have, because I mean, adrenaline is high with the concert goers and everything, and then they shut the concert down, and they're like, all right, you guys all need to go, and they're like, we don't want to go. Why are the cops here? We're pissed off that the cops are here, and the cops are like, we're just trying to do our job, and they're like, hey, fuck you, and everything else. I mean, it's just a combustible situation, and there was probably I'm sure there was some pushing and shoving, and like I say, there may have been some cops who were overzealous. There may have been, and if there were, then they should be dealt with. But I mean,
well, we all know nightclub goers in Florida are a little violent anyway. So
yeah,
just saying.
They are.
It's happened in Orlando. It's happened in
yeah,
Miami, a couple other places.
Yeah, and Amy, before we move on, she asked a question: if we have been to the Gibson Garage. I haven't been in it.
I haven't either.
I haven't been in it. I've been by it. I know where it is, but I haven't been in it.
Sounds like a trip we need to make.
Probably should.
Be pretty cool.
Probably should.
All right, my next one's kind of interesting. Over from Metal Sucks. The biggest touring band on the planet is changing how their gear gets from place to place, as Metallica opts to use electric and hydrogen fuel cell powered big rigs moving forward. Starting this summer during the European leg of their M72 World Tour, the band will use Italian truck maker Iveco's vehicles moving forward. According to the Cool Down, both Metallica and Iveco actually began their partnership last year. It's only now that the band will be able to implement a mix of the company's battery electric, and hydrogen fuel cell models as their entire fleet moving forward. While this is great for their carbon footprint and the environment in general, this is also going to save Metallica a boatload of money on fuel costs, as hydrogen fuel cells are reportedly 2.5 times more efficient than gas engines. Electric vehicles also save significant money compared to fueling at the pump. The only caveat is the time requirement to recharge. With this switch from fossil fuels, Metallica becomes one of the earliest adopters of the fuel electric vehicles as at such a large scale on the planet. Iveco Group CEO Garrett Marks said the partnership with Metallica stemmed from the fact that the band wanted to reduce its carbon footprint without sacrificing their their extensive touring schedule, according to Semaphore. Everywhere they have concerts, we can engage together on sustainability. Uh, Jalopnik reports that through their partnership, Iveco is providing Metallica with the following vehicles: EV models of the company's S-Way trucks, called SE-Way trucks, which have a range of 311 miles before needing to be recharged. That's not going to be a long ride before you need to recharge with Metallica's gear.
Yeah. All right, wait. Say those specs again.
Which one?
The charging spec. Just say that again.
It says it's going to be has a range of 311 miles before needing recharged.
Does it say how long a charge takes?
Uh, it hasn't yet. I don't
Oh, okay.
think so.
Okay.
It's also got they're also using an S-Way LNG truck that uses liquefied natural gas, but have a 994-mile range. Oh, there you go.
God damn.
The latest FCEVs from Iveco, which typically have a range of nearly 500 miles, and the band will also rely on Iveco's EV minibus as their shuttles during concerts. So, given how much fuel is spent moving such huge productions all over the world, it's great to see a band make the switch to more environmentally friendly options. We've seen Metallica listed as one of the worst offenders when it came to their carbon emissions, so it's good to see this change. And that's probably why they're changing, because y'all gave them so much fucking shit about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Funny thing is like the reason why I ask about how long it takes to charge a truck is now obviously I don't know what the regulations are overseas, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously and you probably know this too because you and I both work in shipping and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that in to varying degrees, but you can only drive 10 hours here
Mm-hmm.
straight. You can only drive 10 hours,
Right.
so that means you have 14 hours of downtime. So depending on how long it takes depending on how long it takes to charge a truck, if if you can go from one venue to the next on a full charge, like if you can go from I don't know, if you can go and don't I'm just throwing geography out here. If you can go from like France to Belgium, like if you're in Paris and the truck has a full charge, if you can make it to Brussels in 10 hours. Like I said, I don't know if you can or not, just hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go from Paris to Brussels in within 10 hours, that means that truck has to be down for 14 hours anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you get it to the venue, you back it in to where it needs to be backed in to unload it. You plug that bitch in for 14 hours, and you should be good to go by the time you
Right.
unload, set up, perform, tear down, and get
Mm-hmm.
ready to go to the next venue. So as far as big rigs are concerned, it seems like it would kind of work. I don't know if it would work
Well, I mean, what
on
if you're traveling like sometimes over here you're going from Tennessee to North
well
Carolina. I mean, so you're talking about 10-hour drives. I mean,
yeah, that's the
so
thing is because I was gonna say I don't
you got to
know.
charge it 3 times on the way there. Like,
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if or when on that'll be something that comes over here. Because yeah, if anything that well not anything, but the majority of the stuff that we ship out, like I had trucks go out today where I work going up to uh, Illinois,
mm,
which is further than 300 and some odd miles away. Got stuff that goes to Florida. Got stuff that goes
mm,
up into Canada on occasion. So yeah, I mean, stuff takes long. things take long enough to ship now with just regular old diesel fuel. So until something happens, like I can't remember which one of the ones that you were reading that said it's got a 900 some odd mile range. I
Yeah,
think it was
that's
the
that's the
liquefied
yeah
natural gas.
right.
Now you start getting these some of these battery operated vehicles up into that 4 digit range, then you can talk.
Right.
As far as the shipping industry goes, then you can talk. Because hell, I wouldn't even want to drive an electric vehicle if it can't get me from here to Ann Arbor.
Right.
You
That's
if
fine.
I
That's
can
fine.
charge my car here and I can get to Ann Arbor, that's 575 miles from my house to my grandmother's house.
All they're going to get out of
Give or
me is
take.
what I. Only thing they're going to get out of me is my current car. I got a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's an SUV,
Hmm.
and I get 500 miles a gallon. So I mean not a gallon, a tank. You get 500
Yeah.
miles a tank.
And see, that's
So
fine.
every time I fill up, it's 500 miles. So
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
which is great on trips like we just took. 'Cause, I mean we filled up once.
Hmm.
We filled up when we left, and then we only had to fill up once. In between the time. So
Yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good step, and I'm glad Metallica's doing it because like the story said. I mean, they're going all alternative fuel.
mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Well, I hope it
But
works out.
and I'm sure, like you just said, they're probably making the switch because people gave them shit for how much
Yeah, that's
gas they
exactly
were
what.
using, and it's a lot because they're flying to
Yeah,
get
right.
they're flying to get to wherever they're going. Then they're taking God knows how many semis from venue to venue to venue. So I mean, but I'm sure some people will give them shit because they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a bunch of pussies, whatever. So I
Yeah,
mean, you can't
you
win.
can't
You can't
please
win for
everybody.
losing. Yeah, you can't win for losing. And like I said on the show like a few weeks ago, it seems like the stylish thing here lately is to just pick on
Complain about something.
Metallica. Well, to complain. Well, yeah, I mean that shit. I mean that shit never goes out of style. But more specifically, it seems like it's the stylish thing here lately is to just bash Metallica for this, that, and everything else. So
And just such a like so when I go to places like when out of town, so I like to do reviews on new restaurants I eat at, stuff like that. Mainly because if I ever back in the area, I kind of want to know, hey, where they eat.
right,
Was it good? Because I
yeah,
mean, I might not be back to North Carolina for years. You know what I mean, or
yeah,
South Carolina rather. But there was a review when I was posting about a lady was talking about they was at this little we ate at this little sports bar, and the lady was talking about, oh, we had a big party and they seated us, but we couldn't see the baseball game, and we were upset because we couldn't see the baseball game. So then they moved us to the bar so we could see the baseball game, and then the service sucked because the bartender couldn't keep up and blah. Bitch, you just moved 8 people onto her bar where she already had a whole side to fucking take care of. Let's shut the
hmm,
fuck up. Like,
yeah,
I hate people like that, man. It's like,
hmm,
the place went out to convenience you because you wanted to see the game, and now you're going to bitch about them because they moved you. Like,
hmm,
you did it. Shut the fuck up. Like, you know, it's just like that. I mean, that's the kind of people that are in the world, and in stuff like we were just talking about. Those are the same people that be telling Metallica, "Oh well, you need to be, you do too much. You need to be electric and blah 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 blah." Then they go electric. Then you got the other side going, "Man, we go let blah blah blah
probably
blah."
probably call
Yeah,
them sellouts again or something
yeah.
like
You must be a libtard or whatever they say. I don't know.
that. Yeah,
All that stupid ass shit. But
yeah,
just another people show their own intelligence when it comes to stuff like that. So um,
yeah.
I just there Susie, my wife, will be sitting and she goes, "Why are you even on Twitter?" I said, "Because it's funny. I just sit and laugh at the stupidity on there, man. It's just like these people are fucking ignorant, man." Like,
Hmm.
I say, I can't believe there's this many fucking people that are this fucking ignorant, this many ignorant people just on this platform, not counting, the other platforms that they're probably not on.
Hmm.
But yeah, people are wild, man. Like,
Yes, they are.
all right.
All right. Well, my last one still over at Metal Sucks. Those who caught Between the Buried and Me so far on the Colors Experience tour have noted that guitarist Dusty Waring is not on the stage with the band. There's no news as to why he wasn't there, but it's not the first time he stepped away from the band's live shows. You may recall that Waring stepped away from live shows last year due to sexual assault allegations, which he firmly denied. At the time, the guitarist was accused of raping and impregnating a fan a few years ago. According to the anonymous woman who posted a lengthy retelling of what she allegedly remembered happening, she said she was sharing her experience a few years after the fact because she was too scared to come forward and speak my truth at the time. By her own admission, she had been hanging out with some friends and drinking pretty heavily the day she'd met Waring at a bar near a local venue. After introducing herself to the guitarist, she alleged that he kept buying her shots and kissing her at the bar despite her obvious inebriation. She then claims remembering waking up at home with bruises on her hips and wrists in addition to feeling some vaginal pain. According to text conversations between the two, Waring allegedly confirmed all the details about what happened, including a sexual encounter in the bar's bathroom. Weeks later, she learned she was pregnant and decided to terminate it. Waring would eventually rejoin the band on stage at Furnace Fest of 2023. This time around, the reasoning behind Waring's absence isn't really known at the moment. In his place, the band has sometime in February's Tristan Alman filling in. So we'll kind of see if that's one of those. Like I said, that was just a short one, but that one may be kind of a developing story because we'll see what happens with that moving forward, especially with the stuff that he had happen going on last year. So we'll see if it's something related or if it's something completely different. But
Yeah.
and we'll see if he makes it back for any part of the tour.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the big question, I guess. And making it back for any other tour. So. But at least they got a backup. So,
Yes.
all right, this last one of mine is over from Metal Sucks. A program that aimed to help pay artists more and end venue merch cuts at Live Nation owned club sized venues is continuing through the rest of 2024. Through the On the Road Again program, headliners and supporting acts that meet specific criteria. Sorry, I'm trying to read something over here at the same time. So, criteria set by Live Nation will get $1,500 to cover gas and travel expenses. Originally announced last year, the program has generally been met with both positive and negative reactions from fans and artists. While people generally love the idea of artists getting paid more, detractors doubted the company would keep the program running long enough to make an impact. Live Nation's announcement hit earlier today, which I don't remember when this was, but it's a few days ago, I think, giving artists at least some idea as to how it will affect their touring plans for the rest of 2024. And while the previous program had zero indication that it was ever coming to an end, this newly announced extension seems to have a hard end date coming at the end of the year. The On the Road Again program will continue rolling out extra support to every artist playing shows at Live Nation's clubs through 2024. Launched last fall with the legendary Willie Nelson On the Road Again, helps developing artists on tour and recognizes crews working tirelessly behind the scenes. For every show played in the On the Road Again venue, each headliner and support act receives $1,500 in gas and travel cash on top of nightly performance compensation. Additionally, artists keep 100% of merch profits as On the Road Again clubs do not charge merchandise selling fees, which is good.
That is good.
Our goal was to make touring a little easier, and we've accomplished that right night after night with over 4,000 artists, with more on the way, said Willie Nelson. On the Road Again has distributed tens of millions of dollars to over 4,000 artists and counting, with no set and end date for the program. The program also distributed special bonuses and elevated club staff to a $20 minimum wage to recognize those working to support developing artists behind the scenes. Quote, we're proud to keep On the Road Again rolling strong. Supporting club artists strengthens the future of music, said Michael Rapino, president and CEO of Live Nation Entertainment. Live shows are more important than ever for artists as they get the bulk of their income from touring. Even while live music is booming like never before, hardworking club artists are most impacted as tour costs rise and fluctuate, particularly as they aim to keep their ticket prices affordable for fans. Well, you could take out some of those fees. That would help.
That would be helpful. Yeah.
On the Road Again is a true collaboration that draws on insights from Nelson's years on the road, as well as feedback from touring artists, their teams, and venue operators to help support day-to-day life on tour. All benefits from On the Road Again are being provided directly from the venue's existing earnings. with no increases to consumers. For more information on the program and a list of participating venues, visit roadagain.live. Uh, roadagain.live. Okay. Um, so there you go.
I I think it's good to hear that they're keeping that going. As far as I'm concerned, of course, as a fan, I would say this, but I think that just needs to be Live Nation's policy moving forward.
I mean, it should. I mean,
I mean, it should. I
it's
mean,
not.
good on them. Good on them for starting it. Good on them for keeping it through the end of the year. But I mean, if you can do it this whole time, just do it.
Well, I
Just
think
do
it's just. I think it just needs to be a thing to where they really just need to put into a I don't know, maybe states need to handle it or what, but there needs to be a law about that where these venues can't rip off an artist. There has to
it.
be a top out percentage they can charge. Period. You
Hmm.
know, saying hey, you can't go over 15%. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You lose your ass. I mean, this band's in here making this money. You get a 15% cut. That's all you get. I mean, uh,
Well,
you know,
I like the fact that the Live Nation venues are the what are the on the road venues. They're not taking
mhm.
any.
Well, right, right.
I
Well,
like that.
and I think there's a lot of venues that probably don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just don't hear a lot of it because we always hear the bad
Well,
over
of course. Yeah. I
we
mean,
you're always going to hear the bad over the good. So
right. Yeah.
you're going to hear about this one taking 40% over this one not taking anything. So
Hmm. Yeah. What was it that one venue? What was it? I think it was Milan, Italy. I think they
yeah, in
wanted
Italy, yeah,
47% or some
47, yeah,
shit. Yeah. No.
47%, yeah.
Yeah. No.
And
I would
they
sell.
said, and
I'd
they said,
sell.
and they told them on stage, said we'll be out back with our truck. You just get
Right.
out there.
I was just about to say I would do that too.
Hell
I would
yeah,
sell the shit out of my trailer too.
yeah, fuck them.
You can kiss my ass,
You
47%.
don't get shit if I don't sell nothing.
Yeah.
um,
Well, I mean, you all whenever this topic comes up, we always make the point is like it's like the band doesn't get a cut of all the booze. Why
right.
does the venue get a cut of all the shirts?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that.
Not only booze, but liquid death water is like $6 a can. I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, and
So
considering it's only like $8 for a 6 pack.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like they're making a killing just off of stuff like that too. I mean,
Right. So yeah, leave the band's merch alone. God, just leave it
yeah,
alone.
that's ridiculous. Like I'm sure there's something that I, I want to say too. There's got to be something in a contract where they can't do that too. Like unless there's something in there saying, hey, we can change this at any moment in time, and you signed it, so sorry. Uh, but I mean, it's going to be eventually. Like I think the word gets around more than anything. So eventually, word's going to get around, and I mean, artists just aren't going to play those venues. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Well, and then the
Well,
venue's going to be crying because it got shut down. Like, well, motherfucker,
right.
you did it. You
Yeah,
fucking did it.
and it's always a shame when a venue goes under.
Yeah.
But if you're inflicting these wounds upon yourself, like you said, eventually, like, because like when bands come to Nashville, there are plenty of places to play.
Yeah.
So just for sake of argument, I'm not saying that this venue does this. Let's just say the Basement East. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just say the Basement East charges 30% for merch. Well, with all the venues in Nashville, word's going to get around, and these bands are just going to be like, well, we'll go to Exit In and we'll go to Marathon Music Works or
Yeah.
whatever. We're not going to go to the Basement East. Like I say, I'm just for
Right.
hypothetical.
Right.
Don't jump down my throat. Basement East doesn't do that. I'm not saying they do. Just
Yeah.
for sake of argument.
Yeah.
Hell, I could have said Marathon Music Works charges 30%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do either. So
Yeah.
I was just bolstering Jason's point. You go to any major metropolitan area like that, Nashville, Atlanta, Detroit, whatever, New York City, I mean, could you imagine the backlash if St. Vitus Bar in New York started charging 30-40% for merch? Could
Yeah.
you imagine what would happen if the whiskey started charging that much for merch?
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
Well, those places are famous though. They don't have to charge anything.
Right,
I
they
mean,
don't, but that's what I'm
people,
saying. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
who's to say they couldn't be like, you know what, we want to get in on this? Could you imagine the
I mean,
backlash?
true.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. You go to LA, obviously anyone has played the whiskey and wants to.
Yeah.
But if they were to start something stupid like that, you don't think there's other places to play in LA? You don't think there's other
Oh
places to play
shit.
in New York? So I'm saying. I mean, death by a thousand cuts. How do you want to go
That's right.
out? How do you
I
want to
mean, it's
go out?
like I said, you can go up and down Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
up on the damn strip right there, and
Yep.
there's plenty of bars there to play music. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a rock
Plenty of
bar
it.
on top of a heavy metal bar there. So, all
Yep.
right. Other headlines: Slipknot are rehearsing with a new drummer, and signs are that they hit very, very hard. I actually seen something with Clown too, saying that there was something about. Uh, he said that this is the hardest they've sounded in a while, so we'll see.
Okay.
They're already hinting at a new singles release soon.
I'm
So
I'm intrigued. I'm
yeah,
intrigued.
I am too. Yeah. So, speaking of new releases, Halo Scars, which I've been getting some behind the scenes
Yep.
takes on some of their new stuff too. Man, this is going to be. It's going.
Yep.
I'm so happy for those guys. It's going to be fucking killer. I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait till that comes out and we can share that with everybody.
Yep. April 14th.
Is that what it is? Did they finally release the date? Okay.
I think Colby and Jason earlier today. I think they both said it was
Okay.
April 14th.
Nice.
So yeah, looking
Cool.
forward to that.
Yeah,
Very
maybe we
and
can talk
like
them
you
into
said,
coming on the show that week.
probably super duper happy for those guys.
Yeah.
They do deserve it. They've earned it.
Man, like I said, they've opened up for some big name acts and
Fear
gotten
Factory just recently.
yeah. They who's the Orbit Culture was with them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, and
Yep.
then Orbit Culture hung out with them. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's cool as shit, dude. Like,
And
all right,
I know that Jason got a picture with Dino Cazares. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm
cool.
assuming they all did, but I just remember seeing the picture that Jason got with him.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm not sure. So, all right, it will be something you haven't heard in 20 or 30 years. It's the perfect way to go out, says Al Jorgensen about reuniting with bassist Paul Barker for Ministry's final album. So,
did you by any chance did you listen to Hopium for the Masses yet? The new
was
Ministry album?
I think I listened to. I think I started listening to. It. I don't think I listened to all of it. No,
I listened to it. I wasn't impressed, to be
really.
completely honest with you.
There was a few songs. The songs I listened to were okay. I mean,
Well, hell, I listened to the whole album, and I mean, Al Jorgens. I mean, he only sings like on a third of it. The rest of it is all sound bites.
oh really?
Yeah, there's almost.
Uh, let's see.
I mean, it's almost. Like most of it, like I say, is all sound bites, and I mean, he sings in there every once in a while, but I mean the music isn't horrible, but it's like it's like where are you on this album? Most of it is like I say, most of it's sound bites. It's like where the fuck are the actual lyrics and actual vocals on this album?
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
maybe the last one will be better.
so maybe it is time to retire, Al. Maybe it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, if you're just gonna phone this shit in at the end, I mean, maybe it is time to retire.
Former Nightwish bandmates Marco Hatala and Tarja team up for a new single. I think I heard it over when I was doing the playlist thing. It was a little more mellow, so I didn't include it. But
Yeah.
Metallica's Robert Trujillo didn't know what ex-Slipknot drummer Jay Weinberg even looked like until they were in Infectious Grooves together.
I saw that. That was funny.
Who the fuck's this guy?
That's funny as shit.
Uh, Lemmy Kilmister's ashes will be displayed annually at the Bloodstock Festival.
I like that. That's cool.
That might get. You better have it locked up or something. That might get dangerous.
You better have very, very good security.
Yeah. Arch enemies Alyssa White Gluz named one of the executive producers of I Could Never Go Vegan documentary.
Neither could I.
Yeah, right. I thought she was vegan though.
She is.
Yeah. Nightwish resigns with Nuclear Blast Records. I think somebody posted that.
I did.
Name. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Elias Soriano said it's time for a non-point to work on a new full-length studio album, and
I was going to say I knew you were pumped about that one when I when we
Which I
saw.
mean, not knocking what they do. I mean, I think they've had 2 successful EPs. I mean,
Oh, they have.
I mean, I think what they're doing is working. So I mean, there really isn't a need to do that unless you just want to.
Right.
And I think that the best explanation was Mark Toretti, Contortion was talking about that with doing an EP instead of doing 12 songs and then picking out the 5 best or. So I mean that is right. I mean if you're putting a whole album out, people are only going to listen to 5 tracks anyway. So Blaze Bailey says it's a struggle to organize a U.S. tour. I've heard that many times. So,
Yeah, I have.
Dave Ellison's to play bass for Overkill on their 2024 Latin American tour.
Yeah, that's going to be neat.
Yeah. Mick Mars says actor who played him in Motley Crue's The Dirt movie pulled off the part pretty well. I'm just like, why is somebody just now asking him that question? It's like,
I mean, better late than never, I guess.
I guess, but I'm just like, why is this a headline? I'm just like, what the fuck? Slipknot's clown on decision to fire Jay Weinberg. There's no hard feelings. There never was. Okay, well, maybe not from your end, but Jay seemed like he was pretty mad about it.
I think he felt more blindsided. I mean, I don't think there's.
Well, yeah.
I don't think there's going to be like any like
Well,
lasting.
no. I'm not saying
grudges, but yeah, I think it was more just like the whole like abruptness of it. I think is kind of what kind of got him. But
Soulfly to return to Big Groove Travel Sound on their upcoming album, so that'll be interesting. Death Angel's writing sessions for next album are going great, so that ends that discussion about Only and Kerry King with Mark, I guess.
oh well, I mean, Mark said that he.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
Death
not
Angel's his
leaving.
band. I mean,
Yeah, he's not leaving Death Angel. I mean, there are plenty of guys who do more than one project. So,
oh well, yeah.
and I'm sure when Mark got the job that he and Carrie were on the same page. Like, I'm in for this project, but Death Angel is, number one. So
there was a story about that, but I didn't read it. So
yeah,
I was talking about that was a long, extensive process of getting that job. So
yeah.
Biff Byford doesn't think Saxon will ever use artificial intelligence during the songwriting process. Well, I mean, Saxon's a 30, 40-year-old band.
Yeah,
so I mean, that's the thing with me is like, why would a band that's been around for 20 plus years say, oh man, we're just going to use AI? Why? Like everything you've been doing up to this point has worked. Why fuck it up?
Yeah, why mess with success?
I mean, if you're going to be a new band and start out using AI, then more power to you, I guess.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Or if you got stuff like with the like Glenn Tipton's situation. I mean, he may be able to use some AI to get out some stuff to priest members to go off of or something. I mean, if it's used in a certain way, I guess it's okay. But I just don't see like the purpose of that taking over somebody's talent. I don't agree with that at all.
So. No, neither do I.
Original Slipknot vocalist Anders Kosefny releases new version of Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. I have not heard that. But
I haven't either, and I actually
I don't think it was on anything that I've seen this week. So
no, and the funny thing is I actually saw kind of like a follow-up story to that apparently there was a version of it that wasn't finished that got released without his permission.
Oh, okay.
And he's not happy about it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be either. I mean,
yeah, and he's not happy about it. And apparently he's going to re-record it and put it back out.
Okay. So well, that's maybe why I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. So
Armored Saint has demoed about 5 or 6 new songs for their upcoming album. So looks like we're going to be getting some Armored Saint before the end of the year.
I saw something earlier today where Joey Vera says he hopes that it comes out. It does come out in 2025. So.
Oh, in 2025. Okay.
Yeah.
So first,
which I mean, if they've got a half a dozen songs demoed, I mean they're on track for a 25 release. I would say.
Oh well, yeah.
I would say.
I was saying 24 because
yeah,
they had that many done. I'm like, well, man, they probably have something out by the end of the year then.
They could.
You never know.
Yeah.
Minds change quick. So.
That's
Uh,
true. And well, I mean, I'll definitely be checking it out when it comes out, whether
oh,
it's
for
this year or
sure.
next.
I mean, John's one of my favorite vocalists.
Hmm.
So. Richie Faulkner praises Tim Ripper Owens era Judas Priest albums. I think they're great, as we all do.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I think I seen something where Rob Halford says that uh, he mentioned something about all Priest records were great, and I was just like, really? There's at least two I know you're not happy with, obviously, but
Yeah.
uh,
You know,
anyway,
I wish we could just get the why.
yeah. I mean, just
You know, I mean, just tell us why you're choosing to not acknowledge that era.
mm, yeah. I
Just tell
don't
us
get
why.
it. I
I
don't
don't
get
get
it.
it either. Just tell us why.
Uh, Burning Hell still one of my favorite Priest songs, regardless.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
uh, Suicide Silence is working on a new album, so fans of Suicide Silence look forward to that. Dark Throne will release its Beckoning Us All on April 26th, so there's another new release coming out in April.
Hmm.
And I think that is all I have for headlines.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good to me.
All right, hitting the road.
Hit the road.
I only got two things here, and I don't know
All right,
how
that's
far
fine.
you went back, so
I I
I just
I
focused on two of the bigger ones I've seen. So
I just decided to do the week because I mean
okay,
when I knew you were taking the week off, I decided to just do the same thing. I decided to
okay,
just do the
just
same
to do
thing. So
something, just
yeah, I
chill
so I,
and
so yeah,
relax. And,
so I mean I did keep I kept checking in on things and like look, if
mhm,
something major happens, of course, nothing
mhm.
major earth shattering happened, so but so I just did the week. So I've got a little less than 2 pages. So
Okay. All right, so my first thing for hitting the road here is two of Rock's biggest bands, Stained and Breaking Benjamin, will be teaming up for a fall 2024 tour. That will kick off September 10th in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania, at the Pavilion at Star Lake, and that will end October 25th in Austin, Texas, at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Then we had Five Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson, and Slaughter to Prevail announced the 2024 tour, kicking off on August the 2nd in Hershey, Pennsylvania at Hershey Park Stadium, and ending on September 19th in Houston, Texas at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. And they are coming to Nashville on August 14th at the Bridgestone Arena. So
yep.
expect to pay big money for that
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's the only two I pull because that's the two biggest ones I remembered.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, my contribution for the week. Everything I've got, ironically enough, which I thought was strange, everything came from the PRP this week. I was really surprised that I
hmm.
mean, Blabbermouth had some of them, but I had already seen them, so I was like, oh, well, don't need to double up. So
I think I got mine from Metal Injection. I think so.
yeah, so it's like, well, I don't need to double up. So everything comes to us from the PRP this week. Soil has announced a summer European tour with Images of Eden as the openers on the non-festival dates, starting August 2nd in Wacken, Germany at Wacken Open Air and finishing
Wah, wah.
I hope I said that right. August 16th in Sulingen, Germany at the Reload Fest. Then Soil, Head PE, Nonpoint, and the Union Underground are going to go on a UK tour starting November 4th in Bradford at the Night Train, finishing November 17th in Southampton at the Roadmender. Exhumed Skeletal Remains and Morbicon are going on a US tour starting May 8th in Santa Cruz, California at the Blue Lagoon, finishing June 16th in Seattle, Washington at Madame Lou's. The only Tennessee date is May 22nd in Knoxville at the Brickyard,
Mm.
which doesn't seem like a big enough venue for Exhumed Skeletal Remains and Morbicon.
No, it doesn't.
That does not seem like a big enough venue.
That was the
Uh,
venue we were in, right?
yes.
Oh yeah, that's
As far as I know, yes. And that does not seem like a big enough venue. Slaughter to Prevail is going on a European and UK tour. No word yet on the openers. Starting June 4th in Oslo, Norway at Rockefeller, finishing July 1st in Lisbon, Portugal at the Lisboa ao Vivo. Thursday is going to Europe and to the UK this summer. Also, no word yet on the openers. Starting June 21st in Dessel, Belgium at the Grass Pop Metal Meeting, finishing July 2nd in London at the Garage. Loma Prieta has announced some tour dates for May, with Slow Fire Pistol and Pez appearing at select dates. Starting May 4th in Chicago at the ZBR Fest, finishing May 25th in San Francisco at the DNA Lounge. Simon Says has announced a spring headlining tour with Oceans on Other Planets appearing at select dates. Starting March 22nd, so that one's coming up next week, in Roseville, California at the Goldfield in Roseville. Finishing August 10th in Three Forks, Montana at Rockin' the Rivers. Vale of Panath, Abigail Williams, and Summoning the Lick are going on a spring tour starting May 2nd in Lawrence, Kansas at the Bottleneck, finishing May 26th in Sacramento, California at Harlow's. Summoning the Lick will only be on the second half of that tour. There's a Nashville date, May 8th at the end. Stake has announced a 20th anniversary show November 1st in Kortrijk, Belgium at the Landmark. Dark Tranquility, Moonspell, Wolfheart, and High Race have a fall European and UK tour scheduled starting October 31st in Berlin, Germany at Astra, finishing November 30th in Gothenburg, Sweden at the Film Studion. Filth has announced a summer tour with Awake in Providence, Narcotic Wasteland, Nine Dead, and Resistor opening on select dates on varying lineups. Starting June 19th in Virginia Beach, Virginia at Scandals Live, finishing July 7th in Lexington, Kentucky at the Moshing Taco, which sounds like a cool venue. Baroness has announced a summer tour for Europe and the UK. Openers have not yet been announced. Starting July 24th in Vienna, Austria at Sim City, finishing August 18th in Carhaix, France at the Motoculture Festival. Fallujah, Persephone, Vulvodinia, and Dawn of Ouroboros are going out, starting July 5th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade Hell, finishing August 3rd in Nashville at the Eastside Bowl. Cabal, Born Anew, and Float Omen are going on a U.S. tour starting May 8th in Brooklyn, New York at Kingsland, finishing May 24th in Baltimore, Maryland at the Crown. Abath Duma Culta has announced a summer European and UK tour starting June 20th in Utrecht, Netherlands at the Tivoli Ronda, finishing August 10th in Helsinki, Finland at Helsinki, Hell Sinki. Russian Circles and Reason are going on a European and UK tour this fall, starting October 9th in Cologne, Germany at Astra, finishing November 11th in Barcelona, Spain at Salamandra. Dying Fetus is going to Europe and to the UK with Sanguisuga Bog, Thy Art is Murder, Fit for a King, Alpha Wolf, and Gnosis making appearances at the non-festival dates. Starting June 15th in Donington, England at the Download Festival, finishing July 6th in Dresden, Germany at the Park Waves Festival. And last but not least, Imminence, Catch Your Breath, and Of Virtue are going on a U.S. tour starting April 23rd in Dallas, Texas at the Studio at the Factory. Catch Your Breath will not be on that at that date, and they will be finishing May 18th in Columbus, Ohio at Sonic Temple, and Catch Your Breath will not be at that date either. The tour stops in Nashville on May 8th at Eastside Bowl. So that's hitting the road for the 9th through the 15th.
Eastside Bowl getting all the love in Nashville this one.
Yes, they are.
I still think it's crazy when we talk about these tours and then we look at the dates and it's like September to October. And it's like I remember like going to tours and it'd be like the whole fucking summer, dude. It'd be like, oh, we're kicking off in May and we're going through August. I'm like, damn.
I know.
Yeah. It's like now it's like 1 month at a time or something. Like crazy.
Well, I mean, the way things have been going, it probably makes sense just to schedule things for like maybe 15 or 20 dates at a time, you know?
Well, I mean, it may be an issue of getting transportation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anything longer than that, so
yeah, it might be.
All right,
might be.
It will take us into our theme of the week, and I will put up our playlist for the week right there. That will be the current playlist for the new music that got released this week. Theme of the week this week was Here and There. So I guess I got the here portion of that.
Yep.
So I will kick that off. I think I got like 15 maybe or something.
That's where I ended up, is at 15.
Yeah, so I mean, we can always add more, but to each other's side. So
of course.
I mean, there was a couple that I thought about, and I'm just like, I'm just going to leave it at 15. So
yeah.
So I kicked my
I've kind of been trying to make sure that, because I know we started out with like the top 10 and it kind of evolved a
right.
little bit. I've been trying to make 15 my minimum benchmark.
Yeah,
I've tried to
yeah.
make it that, because between the two of us, if we get 30 songs, that usually puts us at 2 hours minimum. Obviously, if we've come up with themes that we've got like 20 or 25 and it's been
Mhm.
like 40 or 50 songs, it makes it longer, of course. But I like to have a good like
We had a
minimum two
we had a
hour playlist.
yeah, we had a 6 hour one. One of
Yeah,
them
we
was. I
did.
was like,
Yeah, we did. But
damn.
it was so good. I'd have to
Yeah.
it was such a good one.
All right, I kicked my side off here for the here part. The first one I went with was Korn, Here to Stay from the Untouchables 2002. Then I went with Metallica, Here Comes Revenge from Hardwired to Self-Destruct 2016. Then with Five Finger Death Punch, Here to Die from Wrong Side of Heaven, Righteous Side of Hell Volume 2, 2013. I went with Pantera, Heresy, Cowboys from Hell 1990. And I went with Mushroom Head, The Heresy from A Wonderful Life 2020. The Amity Affliction, It's Hell Down Here. That's from the Not Without My Ghost 2023 album. Then I went with Orden Ogan, Down Here from the Gunman 2017 album.
Nice.
Went back a little ways here. Went with White Snake, Here I Go Again,
Ah,
1987.
hell yeah.
Went with Kubla Khan, Texas. And yes, I have to say Texas because for some reason there's two, and one of them doesn't like it. They just used
Hmm.
went
Yep.
with Texas Still Here from New Strength 2015. Then went with Dope, Nothing for Me Here from No Regrets 2009. Then I went with Nothing More, Here's to the Heartache from Nothing More 2015. Then I went with Insight, Still Here from Up in Hell 2014. Then I went with Slayer, Here Comes the Pain from God Hates Us All 2001. Uh, then went Wednesday 13 from Here to the Hearse, Skeletons 2000. Funny, that's a funny ass song. Skeletons 2018. Then with God Slave, Here Comes the Crew from Inhale 2013. And then last, I went with Dead by Wednesday, Here Comes the Dead from Capital Conspiracy 2022.
Nice. All right. Well, my half is the there. So starting off, I went with Is There Anybody Out There? So I got a 2 on that one. Is There Anybody Out There? I got 2 on that one. By Machine Head, that was a single that was released in 2016. Then I had Therein by Dark Tranquility off Projector from 1999. Then I went with You Belong There by Ectomorph off Vivid Black from 2023. Then our friend Victor will appreciate this one. I went with Evil Is There by Metal Crucifier off The Strike of the Beast from 2023. Then I went back a ways for one, Let There Be Death by Onslaught from The Force, 1986. Then I went with Where There's Smoke by Overkill off White Devil Armory from 2014. Then I went with Let There Be Night by Powerwolf off of Blessed and Possessed from 2015. Then I went with And There Was Silence by Primal Fear off Unbreakable 2012. Then I went with There in the Silence by Savatage off Poets and Madmen from 2001. Then There Will Be Consequences by Zentrix off Bury the Pain from 2019. Speaking of which, I don't know if you've ever heard that album by Zentrix, Bury the Pain. After I decided to add this song, I listened to the entire album the other day. You should listen to that.
All right.
It's so good. Then I went with and then There Were None by Exodus off Bonded by Blood from 1985. Then I went with There Will Always Be Blood by Exhumer off The Raging Tides from 2016. Then I went with Like There's No Tomorrow by Halford off of Made of Metal 2010. Then There Can Be Only One by Iron Savior off of Skycrest 2020. And then last but not least, There's Something in Roswell by Saxon off of Hellfire and Damnation from earlier this year.
Nice.
So
Right.
I've already got the playlist built in Spotify. I just have to send it to Jason so
Yeah.
he can add his part, and we'll get that compiled and posted for you guys as soon as we can.
Either tonight or tomorrow, whenever.
Yep.
Whenever I tell Chris, I guess like last time I forgot to tell him that night. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to tell him.
Yeah.
I think he already had it posted by the time I told him. He's like, oh yeah, I already posted it.
Yeah, I did.
I hadn't been on Facebook, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I had just happened to check, and I saw that you had added all the songs. I was like, oh, cool, I can just get this all. let's get this all made up. So
All right, that will take us into our album reviews this week. So I got a couple. I listened to a couple of albums, and then I'll talk about the one I didn't really review, which was the Atrophy Asylum album. Um, Man, that album is fucking good, dude. Like
that
it's
one's
a
that one's next on my list.
it's an easy four horn for me. Just to it's just I don't know how to explain how like good that album really is. For a band that's been like we was talking about before the show, kind of off and on for so many years. It's like um, you know the vocal wise, he is he hadn't missed a beat. So
Yeah,
uh, you got a good 9 songs for 44 minutes. So good 4 or 5 minute songs on here. So
yeah. Well, let me ask you a question real quick, because I did the Metalhead Minute because of the Exhorder and the Judas Priest albums. So
yeah,
that's the why I did the Metalhead Minute this week. Have you listened to the new Judas Priest yet?
yeah.
You listen to it? Okay, you listen to that. You listen to the new Exhorder.
Hmm.
So I gave the new Priest 5.
Yeah.
I gave it 5 horns. What would you have given it?
I probably gave it 4.5. I mean, there's
Yeah.
still like one song on there I just can't get, and I can't remember. I have to go back. Let me look it up real quick, and I'll tell you. But there was one of them that I was just like, man, I just can't like it. I don't know why. It's like
Okay. All right.
there's just something about it. I just it's like, yeah, I just can't get it. I mean, it's not like horrible, like,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't go out of my way to like listen to it. I guess so.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
it's-
I mean, that's fine. That's why we do these things. I mean, not everyone's going to have the same opinion on it, but I mean, I started listening to it and it was just like one fucking banger after
and
another. And then,
I think it's that last song, the Lodger. I don't know why I don't like that. I just don't like that song.
oh well, I mean, like I say, I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, it's like I
Yeah.
started
But
listening to it, and
the rest of the album, I thought was fantastic. So
yeah. So I mean, I got to the end of it, and I was like, because like I texted you, I was like, I'm trying to talk myself out of giving it 5.
uh,
Because I mean, it's really hard to for there to be a perfect album. But I was like, you know
mhm,
what? For me, I was like, I can't really find fault in it. So I was like, screw it. I
mhm,
mean, 5 horns. So like, I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I couldn't see any reason not to. I just wondered what you had thought about it. So
yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
yeah,
So
but yeah, I am gonna listen
I
to
was
that Atrophy.
that X Holder I thought was phenomenal too. So
Oh, it was so good. I like how they went dark with it.
mhm,
Oh, it came out so well.
yeah, yeah, definitely a little bit different sound from them, but it
But it
definitely worked.
worked.
It
It
definitely worked. Yeah.
worked. Absolutely worked.
All right. So album reviews this week. The album I went with was Surgical Strike 24/7 Hate. Surgical Strike is a power thrash band out of Hanover, Lower Saxony, Germany. So
Oh,
the crazy thing is they were formed in 1993 and then disbanded in 96 and then reformed in 2014.
well,
So they didn't really have anything released up until 2016 when the first EP came out, and then they had Part of a Sick World was their debut album in 2020. So you're talking about a band that's been around since '93 and just had their debut album in 2020. So that's pretty wild.
that's a lot going on there.
Yeah, that's a lot to unwrap there. So then of course 24/7 Hate came out. So this second. Their current lineup is Marcelo Vasquez Rocha on guitars, Jens Albert on vocals, Florian Siebeck on bass, Moritz Minky on drums, and then Frank Runke on guitars. I'm guessing that's Runke. I know a lot of the E sounds on the end over there, but I could be wrong. But it may just be Runk. I don't know.
Could be.
But anyway, that's the lineup there. So this, like I said, this is the band's second full length release. 11 songs, 44 minutes, 23 seconds. So not too shabby for 11 songs. I will say this: the album began with a 2 minute 2 second instrumental that led into the title track, which was track two, which was pretty. I didn't have a problem with it because of like it was like a guitar solo lead in almost
Okay.
because um, we just started out like guitars only and then kicked into the song. So it really doesn't, even though it's got a separate, considered a separate track. I mean, it could very well be, run into like the second track and just be one track if it wanted to be, but
Mm-hmm.
for some reason they didn't do that. It's okay with me. I mean, like I said, it wasn't like it was misplaced. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like it
Sure.
didn't seem like it was off key from the actual next song. So I was kind of okay with that. So vocally gave me some old school Overkill vibes, honestly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been around since 90, 90 what 3 6. I don't know what I said, but being around that long, you can kind of see where they could get some vibes off of an older band like that. So uh, it was, man, there was like, uh, you know, you'll love this album just for this. There's so many guitar solos in the record, man.
Nice.
I mean, they were all so good too. It's like you just like, dude is ripping that so much
Yeah.
up. Like, damn. Drumming was great too. Not saying anything negative about that as well, but it's definitely one of those albums that kind of get a grip on you and just kind of like it don't let you go. I mean, it just kind of like
Yeah.
it drags you in and you're stuck. So
There definitely,
I
I was gonna say, there's definitely nothing wrong with German thrash.
no, I loved it. It's an easy four horns for me. So
Nice.
um, and
Then
then
I will put it on my list too.
yeah, and then I listened to an EP as well because I know I'm trying to be better about that this year. So
I'm slipping a little bit, admittedly.
so, I listened to the Ancient Remains Burn It All EP. Uh, uh, Ancient Remains is a thrash groove metal band from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. They were
Nice.
formed in 2019, so very a rarely new band. So uh, they've actually this is their first EP, so this is the only release they've had. So, their current members are Cody Haas Lawson on bass, Calvin Baker on drums, Jaden Fox on guitars, and Daniel Stewart on lead on vocals. Uh, so then you got, like I said, this is the band's first release of any kind. So it's the first thing they've ever put out. So 4 songs, 14 minutes, 55 seconds. So this one seemed heavily influenced by Hatebreed. I'm just going to say that because
Okay.
it definitely had that kind of vibe to it. The whole thing, the whole album did. So it was, and they had a great "fuck you" anthem on there, called "Get Right Out of My Face" is what it was called. So it was a good "fuck you" anthem, and I guess that's why it kind of reminded me of Hate Breed because it kind of reminds me of some shit that Jamie Johnston would probably write. So
Sure.
uh, yeah, guitars were nice and shreddy, drumming was really good. So everything really, really, really did set out and said, "Hey, we're a thrash groove metal band." I mean, even if you hadn't told me, I would have been able to pick it out. So it even has some great pauses like in there, which kind of was the I guess the thing that really stuck out. Was they have some pauses, and the only thing be going on was the drumming. And I thought, wow, that's kind
Interesting.
of
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, you don't hear that a lot. So, uh, but very good debut at least. I can't wait to hear more from this band. So I don't want to have to give this one a four horns as well. So,
Nice. Very nice. All right.
so
Um,
four, you get a four, and you get a four, and you get a four.
making it rain fours. Making it rain fours.
uh,
All right. Well, my I didn't quite get as much in you did this week. So my album review this week was from Lords of Black and their new album Mechanics of Predacity. They are a heavy / power metal band formed in Madrid, Spain in 2014. Their lyrical themes are darkness, end of the world, and love, because those things go hand in hand.
oh, of course.
Their lineup consists of Tony Hernando on guitars, bass, and keyboards, Ronnie Romero, who we should all
Oh yeah,
be
okay.
relatively familiar with, on vocals, Danny Criado on bass, and Joe Nunez on drums. So they are a quartet. This is the band's sixth album.
Oh wow.
So they've had 6 albums in 10 years. They started out, they had an album in 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, and 24. So they're cranking them out. Um,
That's not even Ronnie's main
no,
band, right? Yeah,
no, I mean, no. Let's see. Ronnie Romero. See also Destinia, Elegant Weapon. Ronnie Romero, Sunstorm, The Ferryman, Walter Giardino Temple, Eridon Live, Ex Michael Schenkerfest Live, Core Leone, Gotus, Ex Nova Era, Ex Rainbow, Ex Vandenberg, Ex Santelmo, Ex Aria Inferno, Ex Frontiers All Star, Ex Michael Schenker Group, Ex Voces del Rock.
damn. Yeah,
He's been a busy man.
yeah.
So this new album is 10 tracks long, 59 minutes and 44 seconds. So it's a little I wouldn't say it's a little on the long side, but it is a longer album. What I liked about that is also one of the things I like about power metal is power metal in general, and this album specifically likes to leave room for longer guitar solos.
Mm-hmm.
And this album was no exception. I really, really liked that they did that because Tony Hernando is a phenomenal guitar player. So they definitely let him, stretch his legs a little bit there. Another thing that I liked about this one is, Tony Hernando, he plays the keyboards too. So with his guitar playing and the keyboard playing that he throws in there, there's a little bit of a progressive element in there too, which is cool. A little bit of flavor sprinkled in there, which is nice. Like I say, the album itself, let's see, track. There was one track that was over 11 minutes long
Oh
that
wow.
I didn't think needed to be, because at one point it stops and then picks right back up, and when it picks back up, it sounds like a completely different song. So to
I
me,
always hate that.
to
Yeah.
me, I would have split that and I would have made the album 11 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I say, that's just me. Because like I say, I thought the song was over, and then it picked back up and it kept going. I happened to look down. I was like, "Holy shit, this song's still going!" And it was like 8.5 minutes in. So I was like, "Jesus Christ, how long is this song?" Ended up being 11 minutes and 8 seconds. So I was like, "Man, they probably should have cut that song in half and made it 2 songs." But I mean, with Ronnie Romero and Tony Hernando on this, I mean, the musical compositions were great. Like I say, there was tempo diversities. Ronnie Romero's voice is phenomenal. I mean, he's probably not on the same level as like Tim Ripper Owens and Rob Halford as far as like his high end, but he's got just as powerful a voice in the mid range, no doubt. So happy with all of the musical compositions. Like I say, with the progressive elements sprinkled in there, with the power metal, the extra long guitar solos, which probably wouldn't have been as long as they were if it weren't for the fact that it is Tony Hernando. So, I mean, Tony Hernando is a name guitar player. So with him and Ronnie, this is basically their band, more or less. So they're the two headline names in this group. So Ronnie's got the vocal stuff down, of course, we know. But with Tony on the keyboards and the bass and everything else, well, not the bass currently. He's played bass before. They have a different bass player currently. But with Tony holding down the keyboards and the guitars, he's basically got the musical composition part of it on lockdown. So he's rightfully allowed a little bit more time to have like as long a guitar solo as he wants. And I'm totally fine with that because I mean they were all put together very well. So this one's going to be a 4-horn for me. So I mean 4 is a clean sweep of 4-horn albums this week.
Nice.
Definitely can't go wrong there.
Nope.
As far as the Metalheads Unite podcast is concerned. So
what's going on next week then?
Yeah, looking ahead to the 22nd. Starting off with Aberration with Refracture, Acahexis with Immerse, Acalus with Tower of High Sorcery, Ad Mortem with In Honorum Mortis, Ailstorm with Voyage of the Dead Marauder, that's an EP, Alpha Lyrae with a self-titled album, Altar of Betelgeuse with echoes, Apparition with disgraced emanations from a tranquil state, Auro Aura with the 12th hour, Artificial Language with distant glow, that's an EP, Ashen Reach with the Fear, that's an EP, Astral Adornment with a self-titled album, Atrexial with the Serpent Abomination, Avrilize with Freaks, Bask with Pain Without Hope of Healing, the Bleak Picture with Meaningless, Blestimat with Poisonous Metal, Boris slash Koltar of the Deepers, Hello There, that's a split album, Brodequin with Harbinger of Woe, Browbeat with Unbreakable, Carpet with Collision. The band name is Carpet? All right, sure. Why the fuck not? Chapel of Samhain with Black Onyx Cave, Cyverus with Maze Envy, Critical Defiance with The Search Won't Fall, Cruise with The Jungle Revolution, Davar with Amber Eyes, Club Def F slash HIRS Collective slash Fuck Money with a split EP.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Deception with Denakte, Devastation with Rise of the Dead, Dodsrit with Nocturnal Will, Dwindwaler with Inhet Hemskirks Duin. No idea what language that is. Um, ECR.linf with Belluaires. Man, we got some interesting.
Yeah,
We got some
pronunciations. Yeah,
we got some tongue twisters this week. Evil Will Bless with And the Gods Shook. That's an EP. Fall of Serenity with Open Wide Oh Hell. Fracture Point with Act of Malice. That's an EP. Funeral Oration with Anthropomorte. Führer Gallico with Future to Come. Ghost Kid with Hollywood Suicide. Glitter Wizard with Haunting Gatherers. That's a re-release. We have Granitator with Der Wald Zwicken den Welten. Helny with Zalrat, Hamfero with Menguos Hand Sterk, Hammer King with Konig und Kaiser. Oh shit, Hammer King's got a new one out. I didn't even know that was coming out.
I didn't either.
Nice. Hastronaut with No Return, Heraldic Blaze with Blazoned Heraldry. Oh, that fits. Hideous Divinity with Unextinct, Holler with Reborn, Inner Axis with Midnight Forces, Inner Sanctum with The Great Old Ones, Iota with Pentasomnia, Januar with Fimbulvinter, Joe Robinson with Trail of Tears, that's a re-release, Kaigan Church with Nel Nome del Cadice, I guess, Cold with Du Damis Till Dodd, Ladder Rain with Order to Chaos, Leaves Eyes with Mists of Fate, Lod with Beneath, The Lightbringer with Seven Thrones, Live Gone with Almost There, Martin Gonzalez with Suspiro, Mastiff with Deep Precipice, Meister Leonhardt with Thanatopia, Monolith with Hornet's Nest, Moon Incarnate with Hymns to the Moon, Mud Show with Destiny, Neon Rider with Destination Unknown, Norgal with Kraxelmon, that's an EP, Omnivide with The Tale of Fire, Order of Nosferat with The Absence of Grace, Ozhal Pedersen's Rendezvous with a self-titled album, thankfully, because I don't have to say that again, Pyramid with Beyond Borders of Time, Rickshaw Billy's Burger Patrol with Big Dumb Riffs, interesting, Rot Fester with Condone and Condemn, that's an EP.
That's going to be a great album cover.
Yeah, probably. Psychobab with Nirtia, Sausage Wallet with Bad Habits, Scavenger with Beyond the Bells, Severoth with By the Way of Light, Shaken Street with Scarlet the Old Waldorf, August 1979, Shaving the Werewolf with God Whisperer, Snuff with Off on Thee, Sonic Wolves with 3, Spaced with This Is All We Ever Get, Spite Extreme Wing with 3 re-releases, Cosmo Crater, Magnificat, Non-Ducor, Duco, and Vitra, Storm Hunter with Best Before Death, Sylvain with Egg Air Framand, that's an EP, Tamor with My Sorrow's Rage, Thor with Ride of the Iron Horse, Thornbridge with Daydream Illusions, Velcross with Strange News from the Vault, Vlad in Tears with Relapse, Vinter with Unfolding, that's an EP, VR Sex with Hard Copy, White Cross with Fear No Evil, The Wizards with The Exit Garden, Wombat Supernova with Ape Woman vs. Turbo, Worm Witch and Sadistic Ritual with a split EP, Yabri Yabrepus with a Rhizome Revolution Part 1, and Zombie with Direct Inject. So quite the handful to choose from this coming Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a. Yeah, I didn't really see anything that stuck out, so it's going to be kind of a. We'll probably be going into this kind of pretty much blind. So.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that'll be new to us this coming week,
Mhm.
so, which is fine.
Yeah, just didn't see no big names popping yet. So.
Yeah,
Which.
probably the biggest name that at least we know of is probably that new Hammer King album,
Yeah.
which I'll get to at some point. But yeah, we'll get a completely brand new one
Let's see
and
if
get
there's.
that going.
I don't know if there's anything like. I can't think of anything that's coming up. Like coming up in the next few weeks. That I know we talked about some stuff in April, but I don't think there's much going on with it until
Yeah.
then, as far as bigger name bands. So.
Well, Rage has Afterlife lines coming out next week.
Oh, okay.
I think that's like their 26th album or some shit like that.
32 or something.
It's something like that. It's a lot.
Huh?
So that's, and then we get into April, and we got Alpha Wolf's got something coming out.
Mhm.
Let's see what else we got. Five Finger Death Punch. Well, that's the deluxe edition of Afterlife.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't really
uh,
count. Um,
hell. Afterlife didn't count.
well, let's see. Corpaclani.
Uh,
Uh, I mean, we won't go too far. We won't go too
yeah,
far forward, but yeah, I mean the bigger name stuff is gonna be kind of coming out spring and fall. So
yeah.
there's definitely a lot of stuff to come, though. We do know that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. If you haven't already, you can check us out on our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week streaming radio station at stream.trulyradio247.com/8006/stream. Get you over to that radio station there. And also, if you want to pick up any Metalhead Unite merch, the store is always open at www.metalheadsuniteusa.com.
Yep. metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com is our email address. Follow us on our YouTube channel, our Rumble page, X, Twitch, Facebook group, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok.
Yep. Yep. And if you want to keep up with everything, it's when we do have days off, like we did last week, you can always join our Facebook group or go over to yep. Have a good night,
Yep.
Amy. So,
Yep. Have a good night, Amy. Even though it is 7:18 in Hawaii right now. Just saying.
oh, okay. What, in the morning?
No,
Oh, tomorrow? It's like, so they're already to tomorrow, or are they behind us?
they're behind.
Oh, they're behind. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Going to sleep at 7 o'clock.
Hey, shit. Sleep when you can. Who cares, man?
Yeah, right. I wish I could sleep like that during the day.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But yeah, thanks for coming by, Amy. Have a good night. Aloha. I'm old and it's been a long ass week. Hey, there you go. That's all the justification you need.
That's right. Yes.
All the justification you need. And you don't even need that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm grown and I want to go to bed.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, follow us on our Facebook or any of our socials there for any news or anything like that pops up. We usually share that mostly over at our Facebook group. We don't do a lot of the news and stuff on a lot of that because it a lot of these other apps kind of limit us from what we can and can't do. So we just stick with the main news source being at Facebook. So
Yep.
but we do have old shows you want to see on YouTube or Spotify or anything like that. You want to listen to them on Spotify? They're there too.
Yes, they are.
Just look for the logo there in the right hand corner of your screen. That is our logo on everything. So
yes, it is.
For now. So who knows? That may change whenever I do the website thing, which I have to have a meeting about soon. So,
but if and when it does, it will change all across the board. So,
well, yeah. I don't
make everything uniform.
I honestly don't expect it to, just because I don't want to. I just really just want to deal with all that right now. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, hell, it's a good logo. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, then I have to go through like everything and change it. That's the thing. Is that
Right.
uh, that's the that's the whole issue.
Yeah.
And
There's
unless,
really no reason to change it. So.
nah. All right. That being said, we will close this bad boy out for this week. And
Yep.
hopefully we will see you back next week. If anything changes with bands on interviews or anything like that, we'll let you know that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got stuff out there. We just haven't heard anything back from a few of them. So you
Yep.
never know. So like I
That's
said,
true.
we went 3 months one time, and I'm like, who the hell is that?
Yep. We
But
did.
we wound up having a show with them, so
Yep.
it was pretty good. So
Yep. Before we go, leave a 6-pack of beer out for Stone Cold Steve Austin for Stone Cold Steve Austin Day,
yeah, that's right.
and all you Irish have a safe St. Patrick's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be working, so yeah.
Yep.
Can't even get a day off of my own holiday. What's that?
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
All right, we appreciate everybody stopping in. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know we had some technical difficulties at first, but
Thanks for sticking with us through those.
yeah, it kind of worked itself out. Like I said, they must have been working on something because it's been fine since then. So
Yeah.
but anyway, hopefully we'll see you back here next week for another edition of Metalheads Unite. Until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys. Thank you very much.